Wenatchee AppleSox baseball is on the air on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE Channel. Today's broadcast is brought to you by AmeriCorps of Chelan Douglas Community Action Council, Apple Valley Honda, Bob's Burgers and Brew, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, JDSA Law, Mini Blinds and more. Together for you. That Pizza Place in Cashmere, Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center, and Walkabout Grill. Now let's go live for play-by-play action at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. It's AppleSox Baseball live on the NCWLIFE Channel. And a pleasant Friday to you, and welcome to AppleSox Baseball live here on the NCWLIFE Channel. You are looking at the dugouts on the third base side, and I'm right on top of it as we've got the new powder blue uniforms being debuted here tonight. And boy, I'll tell you what, they look pretty sharp as the lineups are being announced. The defensive linemen here for the Wenatchee AppleSox, they'll have that announced here, and then they'll do the national anthem. So let's take a look at it. Mason Philly will get the start on the mound. Ezra Samperi will be the catcher. Luke Stuka at first base. Xander Orahudos is at second. Joichiro Oyama at short. Michael Davini at third. Matthew Hallback is out in left field. Enzo Apodaca in center. And Cole Miller is in right field. And before we can get to the lineup here for the Bellingham Bells, the opponent here tonight, we've got our national anthem here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium, home of the Wenatchee AppleSox, as we get ready for baseball tonight here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Please give a hand to Parker. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good crowd on hand for what turns out to be the first Friday night of baseball here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. They tried to do it last Friday, but Rains had other plans, and so opening Friday of the season, where the AppleSox, by the way, at home are 5-1 at West Coast League play. They're 5-7 coming into the game here today, 5-8 overall. Meanwhile, for the Bellingham Bells, their lineup with a record of 7-4 after they swept Wenatchee in all three games in Bellingham the last three nights. They'll start off with the second baseman, their second baseman, Elijah Hainline. Left fielder batting second is Josh Trujillo. Batting third is right fielder Cole Haig. Batting fourth, the cleanup hitter is first baseman Jack Van Remortel. Batting fifth, the shortstop Christopher Campos. Batting sixth, the catcher Willis Cresswell out of Washington State. Ty Saunders is playing third base. He'll bat seventh. Batting eighth, Daniel Gernon. He's the center fielder. And batting ninth will be the DH J.R. Freedy. On the mound for the Bellingham Bells here tonight, Cooper Barnum with a record of 1-0, a 1.50 ERA, making his third appearance of the season here tonight. He's a 6'2", 211-pound junior out of Washington State University. That's the lineup for the Bellingham Bells. The Wenatchee AppleSox out in the field first, of course, here as we'll head to the top of the first inning. Getting the start for Wenatchee tonight, Mason Philly. He's 1-0. This is his third appearance of the season. The ERA rather ballooned, but he's only pitched a few innings so far this season. 6.75 earned run average. He's a 6'3", 200-pound senior out of Arkansas Monticello. So he's come a long way to join the AppleSox for the summer campaign here in summer collegiate baseball. Appreciate you joining us here on the NCWLIFE Channel. Breeze literally came up here like in the last 20 minutes. It was nice and calm, and the crowd was filling into the stands here. The burgers being cooked behind me, smelling awfully good on the grill as we get ready for baseball here tonight on the NCWLIFE Channel here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium on the campus of Wenatchee Valley College. 4:08 to straightaway center field, and on a night like this, the wind coming up, blowing out to right field. You got to watch it on those left-handed batters that step into the box here in these games with that ball, with the wind blowing out to right. 335 down the lines to right field and left field. So it is a pitcher-friendly ballpark here, and that's what the Sox are hoping tonight, to snap a 4-game losing streak, 3 in a row to Bellingham. They lost on Monday as well to the Northwest Star Academy. So Mason Philly and Ezra Samperi, that is your battery for the AppleSox as we get ready for baseball here on the NCWLIFE Channel. My name is Eric Granstrom. Thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast here tonight. Elijah Hainline is a leadoff hitter, and he'll take the first pitch and hit it on a hop right back to the pitcher, and fielding his position is Philly. And that, ladies and gentlemen, might just seem like, okay, well, that's a nice little out there. But Hainline has been a thorn in the side of the AppleSox. He just destroyed the Sox. He batted .500 this week in the 3 games against Wenatchee. So to get that out to start the ball game is size large here for Philly here tonight. That'll bring up the left fielder Josh Trujillo. He's a 6'1", 170-pound junior out of Old Dominion. I'll tell you what, at least as far as the roster is concerned and what they tell us the size and weight of these guys are, it looks more like a football lineup for Bellingham than it does a baseball lineup. First pitch to Trujillo, misses high and outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. By the way, umpires tonight, Nick Hudlow is out on the bases. Vinny Mariana is behind home plate. The diminutive umpire that'll call balls and strikes here tonight, so he gets a good look at it. The next pitch is in there for a strike. A little delayed call from our home plate umpire, Mariana. And the count evens to Trujillo at 1 ball and 1 strike. First of 3 games here this weekend at Paul Thomas for the Bells and the AppleSox, and the 4th of 6 in a row between these two teams. Nice curveball there, swung on a miss by Trujillo. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Trujillo batting .333 on the season so far. We're in the early going. But Bellingham has played 13 total games, including a few non-leaguers. 11 in West Coast League play. The pitch here swung on a rip down the right field line, and that is going to be a fair ball. Oh, my. I thought that was a foul ball, but a safe, fair, rounding second. Heading for third is Trujillo, and he will get in with a slide safely into third base on a 1-2 pitch. He lines it down the right field line, and boy, I thought that went foul, but they say fair ball. So a 3-bagger here with 1 out, and Bellingham in business. And that's something else that has taken place here the last 3 nights in a row, is Wenatchee's offense has been stymied while Bellingham has been putting the bats to the ball. And, well, they won last night 5-0. Wenatchee scored just 1 run in the 3 games. So Trujillo is in scoring position. Infield drawn in on the corners here as Haig steps up. And the first pitch to him from Philly is a strike across the knees to Cole Haig, a 6'3", 240-pound junior out of Columbia, looking for his first hit of the season. Just joined Bellingham not too long ago, so getting into the swing of things both literally and figuratively here. Philly looks in, gets the sign from Samperi, and the 0-1 pitch on the way to the plate is swung on and hit foul up the first baseline, and the count goes to 0-2 on Haig. Broadcast here on the NCWLIFE Channel, brought to you in part by AmeriCorps Chelan Douglas Community Action Council, now accepting applications for service members. Apply online at cdac.org/AmeriCorps. Be sure to put a P and an S on the end of AmeriCorps there. 0-2 count to Haig, and working from the stretch, Philly's pitch to the plate is swung on and fouled back, and the count stays at 0-2 on Cole Haig. Jack Van Remortel is waiting on deck here for the Bells. Well, Wenatchee went into the 3 games in Bellingham, second place in the North standings of the West Coast League, and emerge from the series towards the bottom of the stack. Bellingham takes over first place. This curveball, the crowd wanted a strike called and not coming from the home plate umpire. So the first ball here to Cole Haig. And we are right with our broadcast location here where I'm at, on top of the AppleSox dugout. So I've got a microphone that's hanging not too far from the opening, so we'll apologize if there's anything said that is not agreeable. This pitch is strike 3 called. Gone looking is Haig for the second out of the first inning here. Huge strikeout for Mason Philly. That is his, believe it or not, 14th strikeout of the season. Yeah, he has been stupendous in the strikeout category. Had 8 strikeouts in 4 2/3 against Springfield and 5 Ks against Bend in a 15-14 loss on the road at Bend earlier this season. So 2 down, runner still at third base, and Jack Van Remortel steps up here for the Bells. Boy, if Philly can get out of this situation, that would be huge for the AppleSox to start this game. Off-speed pitch here is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count, and boy, a big cheer erupts from the dugout below us. AppleSox non-starters in the dugout. And actually, that got a huge smile on the face of Josh Trujillo, who stands at third base. Meanwhile, coach for Bellingham comes down, and he's talking to his hitter at the plate, but he also might be having a little word to the home-plate umpire. Adam Gieslin is the coach for Bellingham. Of course, Mitch Darlington in his first year as the skipper of the AppleSox. He grew up watching AppleSox baseball 22 years ago. He was about 6, 7 years old when the AppleSox first started and loved being here at the ballpark, and now he's managing the team. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. On the way to the plate is low for a ball. 1-1 the count. Boy, that had some speed to it. Off the left-hander on the mound, Mason Philly. Christopher Campos waiting on deck here for Bellingham, hoping for a shot. Should Van Remortel get on base. Runner at third, 2 down, top of the first. No score here early going in Wenatchee. Pitch here, swung on and missed, and he was out in front of that off-speed pitch, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Van Remortel was thinking fastball, and he was way out in front of it. 6'2", 215-pound senior from Michigan. Yeah, some good size here. 210, 240, 215, and another 210-pounder in the starting lineup here for the Bells. 1-2 the count to Van Remortel, and the pitch by Philly is missing just inside. And the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good view behind home plate here tonight. Thanks to our camera person extraordinaire, Rachel Mandelis. We've got Matthew Ortiz and Clark Sims here tonight, and Dan Kuntz over on the first base dugout, handling our camera duties. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way from Philly. Hit hard. This is going to score a run. Goes all the way to the warning track. Left fielder Matthew Hallback finally comes up with it, but not before a stand-up RBI double by Van Remortel. His second hit of the season for Bellingham is a ringing double all the way to the wall, and it's 1-0 Bells. That'll bring up shortstop Christopher Campos. Boy, you hate to see a pitcher get ahead of a batter and then give up 2 out base hits, this time a double, so a couple of extra base hits for Bellingham so far in this ball game. And it looks like Philly wants a different ball from the home plate umpire. Speaking of pitchers, we hope to be joined by Quincy Vassar, Brewster grad. In fact, the Brewster baseball team is in the crowd here tonight. In fact, they're sitting, looks like they're sitting mostly down below home plate, behind home plate, as they celebrate their state championship and were recognized before the ball game here tonight. Pitch here swung on and a fly ball to right field. Wynn's going to play with this, but Cole Miller is able to track it down for the final out. And that'll do it. Bellingham gets a run on 2 hits. They leave a man. Will head to the bottom of the first. The Bells won. The AppleSox do up next. You're watching Wenatchee Baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Let's go AppleSox. And the AppleSox are wearing their brand new powder blue jerseys this evening.
Well, the Bells strike first here tonight to lead it 1-0 over Wenatchee, and that's been kind of a theme this week. Sox are hoping to, break kind of a dry spell at the plate, and they'll ask Joichiro Oyama, Ezra Samperi, and Enzo Apodaca to help out that cause here in the bottom of the first inning. Eric Granstrom will coming to you live from Paul Thomas Senior Stadium tonight here on the NCWLIFE Channel as we bring you live baseball. First of our, 5 broadcasts of baseball here this season for the AppleSox. We'll be back here in a couple of Tuesdays on the 28th as Kelowna comes calling. Appreciate you joining us. The Bells out there defensively. Rest of the lineup here for the AppleSox. And for Mitch Darlington, the head coach for the Sox tonight. Batting fourth will be the left fielder Matthew Hallback. Batting fifth will be third baseman Michael Devaney. Batting sixth, right fielder Cole Miller. Batting seventh, the DH Grant Sherrod. Batting eighth, first baseman Luke Stuka. And batting ninth will be the second baseman Xander Orahudas. So here we go. Joichiro Oyama, the 5'6", 170-pound junior from UC Irvine, will step into the left-handed batter's box. And boy, has he been off to a great start for Wenatchee. Batting .404 in West Coast League play. And player of the week here a couple weeks ago. This pitch misses high for ball one, 1-0 the count. Well, important for the AppleSox to get going offensively here. They had plenty of opportunities in the game last night, and a 5-0 loss to Bellingham had 10 runners stranded on the base paths. This pitch swung on and fouled back, and the count even to Oyama at 1 ball and 1 strike. Not a bad crowd here tonight, and I talked to one of the new players in town for the AppleSox who just came in from Santa Clara here earlier today as we were setting up. The next pitch is swung on and fouled away on the third base side, so the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes to Oyama, who has been certainly known on the spray chart to go the opposite way. Joel Norman, the voice of the AppleSox on radio on Sunny FM, interviewing Oyama here a week ago and talked to him about that opposite field power. This pitch swung on and missed. And the first strikeout of the ball game comes from the arm of Cooper Barnum, starter for the Bells. 1 out here in the first inning. And Oyama says, I don't really try to go opposite way. I just try to hit the ball where it's placed. Ezra Samperi will step up. Gonzaga newcomer, the 5'7", 160-pound senior, will step in here. Catcher. You don't see a catcher batting that high in the order too often, but he is here. The pitch swung on and a fly ball to shallow right field. The wind could cause some issues here. In on the ball and then having to reach up high for it was Cole Haig, and that'll be an out recorded for the second out of the first inning. That'll bring up center fielder Enzo Apodaca. He was a fan favorite here a season ago for the AppleSox. Freshman year at Gonzaga was kind of eliminated due to injury, and then kind of found his stride here last summer. Got off to a slow start, but really did well through the second half of the season. In fact, he got himself as a honorable mention on the all West Coast team. First pitch to him here for the right-hander is low for a ball. 1-0 the count to Enzo Apodaca. Now a sophomore, just finished up his sophomore season at Gonzaga. Of course, the Bulldogs made it to the college playoffs, eliminated. His pitch swung on a chop back over the mound. High field for the second baseman. Hainline. His throw to first base is Apodaca. Stumbles into the bag. And the out recorded. So that'll be a 1-2-3 story for the AppleSox. 4-3 on the putouts on Apodaca. So nobody aboard, no hits, no runs, no errors, nobody left. And it's a 1-0 Bellingham lead as we head to the second frame here in Wenatchee. You're watching AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
on the health and strength of your relationships. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Are you a take charge kind of person? Consider a career as a health unit coordinator. You'll work to keep health facilities running efficiently by coordinating medical providers, patients, and departments. The Charter College Certificate in Health Unit Coordinator program can get you up to speed on basic patient care, health records management, health and safety procedures, and medical billing. And the 10-month online program includes a computer you keep. Get started at chartercollege.edu, where we work to get you to work.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Will Cresswell climbs in the batter's box here to start the second inning off here for the Bells. Bellingham leading at 1-0 over Wenatchee as Mason Philly will try to mow him down here in the third as Cresswell steps up. He's batting .222 on the season. A curveball here. Well, that looked pretty good, missing just inside for ball one, apparently. 6 foot, 195-pound sophomore at Washington State University. A couple of Cougs here in the ball game for both sides today and this weekend. Mason Philly, left-hander's 1-0 pitch is another curveball, and again, just missing inside for ball two. Good view from behind our outfield center field camera, looking back in towards home plate, and a smattering of fans behind home plate, getting a good view here at Paul Thomas. Very comfortable confines, swing and a miss here on a good off-speed pitch. 2-1 to count to Cresswell. One run in the first after a one-out triple by Josh Trujillo. He was driven in on the RBI double by Jack Van Remortel. This pitch is in there for a strike. Nice fastball, snap the glove of Ezra Samperi, and the count evens to Cresswell at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, I know for those that are watching here that are in the Wenatchee Valley, you know what this spring has been like, so no surprise that the wind would blow here this afternoon as we get to game time. It has been just, of course, anywhere in the Pacific Northwest, just been a nasty spring. 2-2 pitch is a curveball, strike 3 called. Wow. Looked maybe a little low, but the second strikeout of the game is another backwards K for Mason Philly. And with one down, that'll bring up Ty Saunders, third baseman for the Bells. Ty is a 5'11", 190-pound junior out of the University of Portland. He's batting .250 so far this summer for the Bellingham Bells. And I put summer in quotation marks, by the way, because even though we're literally, just going into the first official day of summer next week, it certainly hasn't felt like a swing and a miss here by Saunders on a pitch that was well in the dirt, out of the strike zone, but he was up there ready to whack at it. 0-1 to count to Saunders. Saunders back in the right-handed batter's box, and Philly a quick worker on the mound with the pitch. Swung on a chop. It's up the third baseline. Going to be handled there by Davini. Throw across and dug out nicely at first base by Luke Stuka. 5-3 on the putouts. 2 down here in the second, and that'll bring up center fielder Daniel Gernon. Gernon, a 6 foot, 210-pound junior out of South Carolina Upstate. You know, I'd never heard of that college until a couple of years ago. We had a couple of players for the AppleSox from South Carolina Upstate, and must be a baseball factory because suddenly I'm seeing them all over the West Coast League. Pitch here is a strike, called 0-1 to count to Daniel Gernon, and Mason Philly would love to just get a 3-up, 3-down inning here for the AppleSox to get those bats moving offensively for Wenatchee. Debuting the powder blue uniforms here tonight. Pitch here, strike call, fastball inside corner, according to our home plate umpire, Vinny Mariana. 0-2, quickly the count on Gernon. Fairly ready, and the 0-2 pitch swung on and chopped over the mound towards the left side. In on it is the shortstop, Oyama. His throw to first is in time to get the out on a speedy Gernon at first base. So how about that? 3 up, 3 down story here for the Bells in the second. We'll head to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Bellingham on top. You're watching AppleSox Baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35-plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today. When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Looking into the AppleSox dugout as they try to rattle the bats and wake them up here. It's been kind of a quiet week for Wenatchee offensively, but hoping to turn it around here as we head to the bottom of the second at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. A shock of sunlight appears from behind the cloud cover and splashes right down on the mound where Cooper Barnum continues his warm-up tosses. Our broadcast on the NCWLIFE Channel brought to you in part by Apple Valley Honda. Test drive a new Honda today at Apple Valley Honda in East Wenatchee. They are proud to be a Honda Green dealer. Also by Bob's Burgers and Brew. Only the best, open daily for lunch and dinner in East Wenatchee. Matthew Hallback making his debut for the AppleSox here out of UC San Diego. 6'3", 195-pound sophomore playing left field for the AppleSox here tonight. And the first pitch he'll see in the West Coast League this year is swung on and fouled back. And a count 0-1 on Hallback. Kind of shakes his head. Hallback out of UC San Diego. Hit 270 for UC San Diego this year. 40 hits and 148 at-bats. 29 runs. Did have 4 home runs and 25 ribbies. Pitch here he takes. Well, they want to check. He didn't even hardly flinch, so I don't know why they would check on a swing there, but the umpires say no, and 1-1 the count to Hallback. Nick Hudlow is our base umpire down the first base line. 1-1 pitch to Hallback. That looked good, and so the umpire behind home plate, Vinny Mariana, says, yep, strike. 1-2 the count. Take a look at the numbers here for Cooper Barnum. Not a stranger to the strikeouts. He's got 4 coming into the game today. Make it 5 with a strikeout of Oyama back in the first. This pitch misses for a ball. 2-2 the count to Hallback. Sox would just love to get some activity on the base pass here. 2-2 pitch swung on and fouled back. Again, Will Cresswell is the catcher to Cooper Barnum. Again, Barnum 1-0 so far this summer for the Bells. A 1.50 earned run average. He pitched 4 innings against Kamloops to get his only win of the summer. This pitch swung on a chop back over the mound towards the second baseman on a hop, taking it as Hainline. And his throw to first is in time, so the second put out for Hainline in the ballgame so far. 1 down for the AppleSox here. The second brings up third baseman Michael Davini. How about Michael? If you haven't been paying attention, Davini has played in 12 games for the AppleSox. That's all 12 of their West Coast League games. And he has at least 1 hit in every single one of those games. So hoping to extend that here. He's got 10 runs, a home run, 7 RBIs, as he'll step in with a .400 batting average. The first pitch on hit the air to left field. Ranging to his right with plenty of room out there is Trujillo. And so 1 pitch and 1 swing by Davini, and he is an out on the fly ball. So 2 down here for Wenatchee. And the second brings up right fielder Cole Miller. Miller's trying to still get on track. Hasn't seen too many games of activity here for the AppleSox. 6 foot, 180-pound junior out of the University of Washington. He's 1 for 11 so far in his plate appearances for Wenatchee in the summer campaign. 2 down for the Sox here in the second as they trail Bellingham 1-0. First pitch high and inside. Little chin music for Miller. 1-0 the count. Well, you got a Cougar on the mound and a Husky at the plate. These guys have seen each other before. 1-0 pitch from Barnum on the way to Miller. Swung on a chop foul behind home plate, and the count evens to Miller at 1 ball and 1 strike. AppleSox with a couple more games this weekend. We will not be broadcasting the games, but you're certainly welcome to come on out to the ballpark and cheer on the Sox as they host the Bells here tomorrow at 6:35, and then Sunday afternoon at 1:05 on Dad's Day. Pitch swung on and hit on the ground, foul, and just beyond the reach of Saunders at third. And the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes to Cole Miller. By the way, the old uniforms, the navy blue tops that the AppleSox have had, I think, since day one, 22 years ago. Now the uniforms aren't 22 years old, but they're 10, 12 years old. So those are being retired, and actually you can buy a game-worn uniform here at the ballpark. This pitch misses well high for ball 2 to Miller from Barnum. So the count evens to 2-2. It's too bad the AppleSox don't have a player with the last name of Bailey, because then you'd have Barnum pitching to Bailey. Okay, you get it. 2-2 pitch swung on and hit off the end of the bat right back to the pitcher, and Barnum's going to take it to the bag himself. 1 unassisted on the putout, so it's been a 6-up, 6-down story through 2 innings for Wenatchee. We head to the third. Bells on top, 1-0. You're watching AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Come on, I'm a certified technician. I was trained to take good care of you.
9. I've only been to the dealer.
I've been coming here for years. These guys are great.
Look around. The BMW, the Jag, the Volvo, they're all waiting for regular service. Well, the BMW has a little computer issue, but that's nothing we can't handle. Come on in.
From regular maintenance to computer troubleshooting, trust the Global Car Care technicians with your import, diesel-powered, or domestic vehicle. Global Car Care. They speak your car's language.
Dankeschön.
I'm Brian Thorpe, and I'm proud to say that Global Car Care is growing. We always do the right thing, and because of that, we're busy, and it's time to hire an experienced automotive technician. We spend as much time with our coworkers as we do our own family. I want them to understand they're not a number here. They're a person with a family, and I want them to be part of this family too. Do you want an owner that understands and respects what you do every day? I'm that guy. Our compensation is the best in the area. I want you to have your career with us.
They remember Quincy Vassar possibly going to join us here on the broadcast. We'll see about that. J.R. Freeby will lead it off here, the DH for Bellingham. Elijah Hainline and Josh Trujillo also due up here in the third. 1-0 ball game. The run came for Bellingham in the first, if you're just joining us. 1-out triple by Josh Trujillo, and then a 2-out double to the wall and left by Jack Van Remortel, and that is how Bellingham scored, and that is where we are, 1-0. As we head to the top of the third, J.R. Freedy is a 5'11", 180-pound sophomore from the University of Nevada, Reno. And we're waiting for a little help at first base. They actually had to remove the bag from first. Apparently it was not sitting well in the post in the ground. And you don't want any free play there on the bag at any of the bags. And so a little delay here as they find a different base to go into the slot over there at first base. And Luke Stuka, I mean, he's the one that was fielding some grounders or fielding some throws from his infield mates and reached back to step on the bag and felt that something was not quite right there. And I don't know if it's still right. Still looked a little loose, but Stuka says, no, okay, we're good. So back to baseball. And what Mason Philly on the mound for the Wenatchee AppleSox would like to do is just have nobody they're standing on first base in the form of a bell. First pitch to Freedy is a strike call. Boy, that umpire is pretty consistent. Vinny Mariana on his low strike zone here tonight. 0-1 to count to J.R. Freedy. Batting 136 coming into the ball game here tonight. Number 9 hitter swings at the next pitch, and backhanding the attempt was Davini. Bounces over his glove and heads out to left field. So a leadoff single and aboard is Freedy. We certainly have seen some interesting hops at third base here, and if you come to Wenatchee and play summer baseball for the AppleSox and you're a third baseman, then by gosh, I hope you up your insurance, because the hops are certainly tricky here at third base. So one on to lead off the third, and that'll be back to the top of the order for second baseman Elijah Hainline. Mentioned Elijah batting .395 coming into the game today. He's 0 for 1 after grounding out to first in the first, and this pitch misses inside with a fastball. 1-0 the count to Elijah Hainline. Well, I do not see a Quincy Vassar as of yet joining us on the broadcast. But again, it's a busy night here, and I can certainly understand if the message didn't get down to the players and coaches to toss over to the bag at first, not quite in time, as the entire dugout for Bellingham helping out the runner over there, J.R. Freedy, telling him to get back in unison. 1-0 the count to Hainline. Sox looking for the double play ball in the infield. Pitch on the way by Philly. Swung on and fouled back. Evens the count to Elijah Hainline at 1-1. We were mentioning Bellingham in town for 3. Wenatchee be on the road at Victoria next week, heading north of the border. In fact, they'll stay north of the border. Victoria on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Edmonton next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. New team to the West Coast League. In fact, quite a few new teams to the West Coast League this year. Another toss to the bag at first, keeping a close eye on Freedy over there. Freedy with just 1 stolen base so far this season for Bellingham. This pitch misses low. Touched the dirt, so they'll check out the baseball. 2-1 to count to Hainline. Another Washington State Cougar at the plate here for Bellingham. Let's see if Coach Adam Giesland has maybe a play in mind on a 2-1 count. Good hitter's pitch coming up. See if he'll put Freedy in motion. And the Sox probably thinking that as well defensively. So Philly tosses over to first base just to keep him close. Tough for the infielders here on that right side of the infield, because the sun sets in Wenatchee right behind the third base dugout. So they're looking into the sun as the pitcher, the runner from first goes. The pitch is a strike. The throw down to second base will not be in time. So a stolen base here for Freedy. Count evens to Hainline at 2-2, and the Bells have another runner in scoring position. Great jump for Freedy. Throw from Samperi. In fact, the first bounce of the baseball as he threw it towards second base hit in front of the mound. Philly had to kind of do a little dance out there to have that ball not hit him on the throw down to second base. Hainline ready, Philly ready, and checks the runner at second base. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. On the way by the left-hander is a little bit inside. Didn't miss by much. The count now full to Hainline at 3-2. Mentioned Hainline leading the team in batting at .395. Has a couple of home runs, 8 RBIs. Just need to keep him off the base paths. Philly ready. And the pitch to the plate swung on and fouled back into the pine trees on the right side behind home plate. And the count stays at 3-2. Our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Global Car Care. ASC certified technicians will take good care of your vehicle. Whether you need general maintenance or have a European specialty car, you can count on Global to keep you on the road. 3-2 the count here to Elijah Hainline. Nobody out runner at second base. And the pitch to the plate is outside for ball 4. Well, that puts the double play back on, but gets the base paths busy here for Bellingham, and Josh Trujillo, who had a triple in his first at bat, steps up here with 2 aboard and nobody down. Trujillo ripped a 1-2 pitch down the right field line. From my perspective, I thought it bounced foul, but the base umpire was out there right on the line, so he was straddling the line to have a better look at it than I did. And it went all the way down towards the warning track in foul territory after it skipped ever so close to the line. He ended up scoring Bellingham's first run, and is where we sit right now at 1-0. But Bellingham threatening here in the third. Philly ready, and the first pitch to Trujillo is low and outside for ball 1. You come into summer collegiate baseball, and the coaches for these guys in whatever college they come from has specific instructions on what they want for their pitchers, especially as far as how many innings, how many pitches, that type of thing. So everybody's on a pitch count, everybody's on an inning count for the most part. Next pitch misses low for a ball to Trujillo, so the count now 2-0 to a dangerous man at the plate. And we're going to get a visit to the mound. They'll talk about this one. Yeah, earlier this week, Wenatchee fell to the Bells on Tuesday, 7-0. As Bellingham held Wenatchee to 5 hits in the ball game. Trujillo did not play in that one. In fact, this could be the first time the Sox are seeing Trujillo here. No, he did play last night. He was 1 for 3 last night. After a quick visit on the mound for the AppleSox. And their pitching coach, Aaron Vaughn. Now a discussion settled between Philly and Samperi, who settles back in behind the dish. 2-0 the count here on Trujillo. Philly ready, and the pitch to the plate is a fastball missing just low for ball 3. Boy, that did not miss by much. And we saw the home plate umpire here earlier in this game, and the first 2 frames, calling that pitch a strike. 3-0 pitch is right down the middle for a strike. So the count goes to 3-1 on Josh Trujillo, who was taking all the way. The 6'1", 170-pound junior from Old Dominion looking to do some damage here for the Bells in that left-handed batter's box. Lefty versus lefty here with 2 aboard and nobody out. The 3-1 pitch by Philly is a strike on the outside portion of the plate, and the count goes to 3-2. Next time after this weekend, the Sox will be back here is when we'll be back here at the ballpark on June 28th, Tuesday, as they welcome the Kelowna Falcons in town. Full count to Trujillo. We'll see what the runners decide to do. They'll hold. The pitch is low for ball 4. So the first walk of the ball game comes here to load the bases in the 3rd inning. Freethy will go down to third base. Hainline to second. Trujillo is at first, and now Cole Haig will step up. Haig struck out looking in his first plate appearance in the 1st inning. He's still looking for his first hit as a Bell. But he is a big fella in that right-handed batter's box at 6'3" and 240. First pitch to him is low and inside for a ball. Nice stop by Samperi, and the count 1-0 on Cole Haig. No place to put him, nobody down. Sox infield drawn in, trying to keep another run from scoring. Pitch to the plate is a curveball in there for a strike, and the count even to Haig at 1 ball and 1 strike. Some late arriving fans here at the ballpark tonight getting their food from the concession stand. And 1-1 the count to Haig. The pitch on the way, swung on and hit in the air to right field, and this will score a run as the ball is caught by Cole Miller. Runner at second will hold, but coming home on the sac fly is J.R. Freethy, and it's a 2-0 Bellingham lead. So give an RBI to Haig. First out here of the inning. Hainline holds at second. Trujillo holds at first. And that'll bring up Jack Van Remortel. He had that RBI double in the first on a 2-2 pitch to left field. Hallback was able to collect it after it got on the warning track out there. So the senior out of Michigan steps in right-handed batter's box. Chance to move some runners around. With one down here in the inning, AppleSox defense would love a double play ball to just end it. Philly ready. And the runner from second goes. In fact, both runners go. The pitch is in the dirt. And no, the runners will head back to the bags. Boy, I thought breaking for third was Hainline. 1-0 the count to Van Remortel. I thought they had the double steal on. It just faked me out while they were trying to fake out the pitcher, Mason Philly. 1-0 the count. A lot of pitches here for Philly in this inning. Pitch swung on and fouled back into the glove, and it goes out of the glove of Sam Perry. So the count evens to Van Remortel at 1 ball and 1 strike. Van Remortel coming into the ball game, a 125 hitter, but 1 for 1 already here in this game tonight. 1-1 to count to him, with 1 out, 1 in, and 2 on for the Bells. We're in the top of the third inning here at Wenatchee tonight. And a pitch to the plate is swung on and fouled off of the catcher, and Sam Perry going to need a moment to collect himself here as that ball got him. Don't know if it got his hand or it got the thigh. It looks like it got his right thigh. 1-2 to count to Van Remortel. So our next broadcast of Sox baseball will be on Tuesday, June 28th against Kelowna. And then after that, we're looking forward to the 4th of July. We'll have the Wenatchee 4th here live on the NCWLIFE Channel about 9:45 or so in the evening on July 4th. Dan Kuntz will be high atop the Town Toyota Center with a broadcast here on the NCWLIFE Channel. Looking forward to that. 1-2, the count remains to Van Remortel. The pitch is a fastball missing inside for ball 2. Mentioned Wenatchee dropping the first game of the series at Bellingham 7-0. Their only run against the Bells came in game 2 as they lost 4-1. They lost last night 5-0. So trying to hold the Bells in check offensively. This pitch swung on it, a well-hit ball deep to right field. Back on the ball is the right fielder. It's going to go off the face of the fence. 1 run's going to score. Here's the relay home. It's high, the slide, and oh, they got him! I thought he was going to get in there for sure, but no, head first slide at home. And the relay beautifully accomplished out there by Xander Urahudos. Comes home in time. Great play out there. I think it was Apodaca who fielded the ball off the fence. He whipped and fired it to Urahudos, who then fired it home with a tag by Semperi. And out at home is Elijah Hainline. Hainline didn't pick up the ball. It's simple as that. Trujillo, meanwhile, winds up down at third base. Give a double to Van Remortel. That's his second of the ball game. But out at home, Hainline. So 8-4-2 on the putout. So 2 down in the inning. This pitch swung on and fouled away by Campos. 0-1 to count to Christopher, who's 0 for 1 with a fly out to right. And his first at bat to end the first inning. Philly continues to work from the stretch. And the lefty's pitch swung on and hit to the right side of the infield. Waiting on it is Urahudos. The toss to first in time, and they get it. So Bellingham could have done much worse, but they do end up with a run on 2 hits. They leave 2 big ones out there. We'll head to the bottom of the third inning. It's Bellingham 2, Wenatchee nothing. You're watching AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders, or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
The road can be a crazy place. Uh-oh! That's why Les Schwab Tires fixes brakes, steering, and more. And those guys don't. Keep driving. I'm just glad Les Schwab puts my safety first, so I can backseat drive with confidence.
Hit the road safely with Les Schwab and save up to $150 when you buy select tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, celebrating 70 years of doing the right thing.
Hootis for the Wenatchee AppleSox. Appreciate you joining us here on the NCWLIFE Channel. Eric Granstrom coming to you live from atop the AppleSox dugout on the third base side here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Not a bad crowd here tonight as we bring you baseball live on the NCWLIFE Channel. Thanks to everybody who's also watching on our Facebook feed and on our website at ncwlife.com. Sherrod has certainly gotten off to a good start here offensively for the Wenatchee AppleSox. Grant batting .409 coming into the ball game here tonight. 6'3", 210-pound junior from South Carolina upstate. We'll try to get Wenatchee's first hit of the ball game. Off of Cooper Barnum. The Cougar has mowed down the Sox 6 straight here to start the ball game. So Wenatchee just looking to get a base runner here. Cooper Barnum ready with the first pitch on the way to Sherrod. It's a fastball, strike called, looked a little low, but that gets a groan emitted from the dugout below me. 0-1 the count to Sherrod. Back to the right-handed batter's box. Barnum, quick worker on the mound, pitch to the plate, swung on a miss. The count goes to 0-2 on Sherrod. Excuse me, 7 strikeouts for Sherrod so far in his 22 at-bats for Wenatchee. So he's aggressive up there. Steps back in the right-handed batter's box. Wags that black-stained bat behind his head, and the pitch swung on and hit foul. Look out, Dan Kuntz. That went right over his head over there. And the count stays at 0-2. What happened to those quick reflexes there, Dan? Thumbs up for Mr. Kuntz over on the first base dugout. 0-2 the count to Sherrod. Luke Stuka, Xander Orahudis also due up here for the AppleSox. This pitch misses low for a ball. 1-2 the count. Sox just trying to get some base runners. They had plenty of opportunities on the base paths last night, but hit into 6 double plays I think I saw for Bellingham in that game last night. 1-2 the count. Pitch on the way. Swung on a chop back over the mound towards the second base bag. Over to field to shortstop. Campos, his throw to first in time to get the out. 6-3 on the putouts on Grant Sherrod, and that'll bring up first baseman Luke Stuka. Stuka, 6'2", 210-pound junior from Cal State Northridge. 1 for 7 so far on the season, so a little slow start for Stuka, who played for the AppleSox last summer. One of just 2 or 3 returners from the 2021 squad after a season that was not in 2020. COVID canceled the season. They tried to put something together. They tried to put a camp together. It just didn't happen. And so happy to get baseball back last year, even though the fans were kind of limited as far as what they could do here at the ballpark and where they could sit and things like that. So finally back to quote-unquote normal here in 2022. Good to see fans back at the ballpark, and I don't see a single mask on anyone. You're outside enjoying the weather. What weather we have. Swing and a miss here on the 1-1 pitch to Stuka, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. As I mentioned, Stuka kind of off to a slow start here for the AppleSox. Not kind of, he certainly is. Just 1 for 7 so far. Back in the left-handed batter's box. And a pitch from Barnum, swung on, and a good cut there by Stuka. just missed it underneath of it, fouled it back, and the count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. You hear the wind blowing in the microphones here. Yeah, it's a windy night here at the ballpark, and it's the 17th of June, for goodness sakes. Now, last year, we were sweating like a rancid chunk of pork. This pitch swung on and missed, and down goes Stuka on strikes. 3rd strikeout of the ball game here. No, excuse me, 2nd strikeout of the ball game for Barnum. That'll bring up second baseman Xander Orahudas.
Now batting, Xander Orahudas.
Orahudas batting .317 on the season for Wenatchee. One of the team leaders with 13 hits and 41 plate appearances coming into tonight. He swings and misses at the first offering from Cooper Barnum. Xander back in the right-handed batter's box, waiting for the next offering from Cooper Barnum. It's on the way, and check swing, but the umpire says that was a strike anyway. 0-2, quickly the count to Orahudas. Yeah, 17th of June, and we got jackets and sweatshirts and everything else here in the crowd tonight. This pitch swung on, a ripped hard, and a base hit finally for Wenatchee will happen here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and the 9th batter to come to the plate. And Orahudas aboard after a great defensive play. How many times you see that where a player will make a great defensive play at the top half of an inning or a half an inning and then come up to bat in the next half inning and come up with a hit? Orahudas does it there. So 1 on for the AppleSox, back to the top of the order for a tough hombre up there, Joichiro Oyama. And the left-handed batter's box, big gap on the right side of the infield with the first baseman keeping the runner on. This pitch swung on a rip to right field for a base hit on the first pitch to Oyama. Joichiro with another hit for Wenatchee. So a little 2-out rally here for the Sox. Orahudas stopped down at second base. And that'll bring up the catcher, Ezra Semperi. So Wenatchee finally getting things going offensively here. And we'll see if they can convert this into their 2nd run of the series against Bellingham, and now the 4th game this week against the Bells. Ezra in the right-handed batter's box. Runners at first and at second. Barnum with the pitch. It's a fastball right down the middle for a strike. 0-1 the count to Semperi. This year for Gonzaga, hit .260 for the Zags. 34 hits and 138 or 31 at bats. Played in 40 games for the Zags this year after spending 3 seasons at Mount Hood Community College. This pitch swung on and grounded to the second baseman. He'll go to second for 1, and safe at first is Semperi. So he's aboard on a fielder's choice. 4 unassisted. Excuse me. They didn't have to go to first base. Yeah, I thought, wait a minute. That was 3 outs. Yeah, there we go. Got it. Okay, no problem. All right, we will head to the 4th. Wenatchee at least got a hit. They got 2. They leave 2. We'll head to the 4th. Bellingham up 2-0. You're watching AppleSox Baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
In sports, it's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCWLIFE Channel.
We head to the 4th inning. Now, what happened there in the bottom of the 3rd, I have to give myself a little gap here. I mean, Yeah, I'm rusty. I haven't been calling baseball in a while. But the umpire at first base on that double play that didn't need to be a double play opportunity, he gave a safe sign at first base. Now, there were 2 outs. When they got the runner out at second, that should have been it. The umpire shouldn't have given any sign at first, but he gave a safe sign at first, and so that kind of messed me up. So I'll go with that assist on the call to end the third. So here we go to the fourth. Will Cresswell, Ty Saunders, and Daniel Gernon do up the 6, 7, and 8 batters for Bellingham. Bells with a couple of runs here in the game on 4 hits. Off the starter Mason Philly, who's still out there for Wenatchee. Lucky number 13 on his back, and number 14, Will Cresswell, steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout back in the first. One of 2 strikeouts in the ball game here for Mason Philly. Left-hander's wind and delivery to start the fourth is a softly hit ball to the right of second baseman Orahudos. He will field it nicely and throw over first base in time. Been a busy night so far for Xander Orahudos. So 1 pitch, 1 out here in the fourth, and that's also something Philly could use because he threw a lot of pitches in that third frame. Where Bellingham loaded up the bases, they ended up with 1 run out of it. They could have got a lot more, but beautiful play out in center field by Apodaca on a relay to Orahudos that came home to nab a runner at home. And then the final out was a ground out. First pitch misses to Ty Saunders here, 1-0 the count. Ty 0 for 1, he grounded out to third in the second. And a 1-2-3 frame for Bellingham back in that inning. This pitch is in there for a strike, and the count evens to Saunders at 1 ball and 1 strike. Got a mix of Division I schools, a lot of Division I players here in the West Coast League. You've got some JC players out of the community colleges around the Northwest. This pitch bounces in for a ball, 2-1 to count to Saunders. The lineup for Bellingham: Washington State, Old Dominion, Columbia, Michigan, St. Mary's, Washington State, University of Portland, South Carolina Upstate, University of Nevada, Reno. So all D1 players. Swing and a miss here on a hefty fastball from Saunders. The count evens 2 balls and 2 strikes. They do have the technology here at the ballpark. On the press box behind home plate that they can track, and a strikeout looking by Ty Saunders here, called out on strikes for the second out of the fourth. Is Saunders for the 3rd strikeout of the ball game here for Mason's Philly. That'll bring up Daniel Gernon. Center fielder's 0 for 1. He grounded to short in the second. So Philly looking for his second 1-2-3 frame. And it would be against all the same batters here if he can coax an out from Gernon. The first pitch taken for a ball, 1-0 the count. But they've got the eye track stuff here behind home plate on the press box where they can measure speed both in the pitch as well as off the bat. This pitch swung on and a well-hit ball deep to center field. Apodaca going back, and as the ball go off his glove. Oh my, thought he had it. And rounding second, heading for third. They're going to hold the runner at third base. And we'll see what they score that. I think that's going to be an error on Wenatchee on the ball that just went. Apodaca, I didn't know if he was going to have the wheels to get out to it. And he had the ball tracked down there at the warning track, but the ball went off of his glove, so an error going to be charged on the fly ball to deep center field. So winding up at third with 2 down is Gernon. And that'll bring up J.R. Freethy. Freethy started off the third with a base hit, stole a base, ended up scoring Bellingham's second run of the game. So he'll step in here with 2 down. And the first pitch to him is a strike across the knees, 0-1 to count to Freethy. I have a jacket on the back of my chair, and I will be grabbing for that one here in between innings. It is a little chilly. Pitch swung on a grounded to the shortstop. Right there for the Sox is Oyama. He'll throw to first base in time for the outs. And we will also have a guest joining us as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Bellingham gets a runner aboard on an error. They leave a man. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th with the Bells leading at 2-0. You're watching AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Hello, my name is Brian Brett, the Fire Chief for Chelan County Fire District 1, and I just wanted to talk about how amazing our Rivercom team is. They are intentional, purposeful, and skillful in everything they do, and they are the best at what they do. How they prepare, how they handle the caller, how they coordinate the emergency services, and how they push themselves to be the best. This is the kind of spirit that our Rivercom telecommunicators have. Our community needs you, we need you, we admire you, you're our lifeline.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Yes, it's me. It's my husband. I think there's something the matter with him.
It was a feeling that I'll never forget, like being able to meet them and know that he survived.
Okay, tell me what's happening. Is he conscious? No, he's not. He's not. Okay, take a deep breath for me. I'm getting you help.
Rivercom means to me that I still have my husband here with me. They're the ones that guided me through saving his life.
Welcome back once again here to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium, where the Bells lead the AppleSox by a score of 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Enzo Apodaca, Matthew Hallback, and Michael Davini due up here in the fourth for the AppleSox. And joining us on the broadcast right now, we have Quincy Vassar, who's out of Brewster. And thanks for joining us here on the broadcast.
Yeah, of course.
Always love to get a chance to meet the AppleSox. And Quincy is out of Brewster but played for Vanguard this year. How do you go from Brewster to Vanguard?
Oh, man. I was at community college in Bellevue, and our head coach there had a great connection in Vanguard. It's an amazing school. Fit me really well.
Apodaca with a ground ball to the first baseman. Backhanding it was Van Remortel. I think they're going to get him an infield single for that one.
It's great to have him back.
How do you score that? That's a single.
That's a single for sure.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'll tell you, that guy's got some wheels. Are you familiar with Enzo at all? Or?
Yeah, I actually threw against the Sox last year here for Bellingham.
Okay.
Faced Enzo,
all
too.
Right.
He's awesome.
He's a battler, that's for sure. And good to have him back at a Wenatchee uniform.
Yeah.
So you go from Bellevue to Vanguard and then back here this summer. Was that an easy decision for you to come here and play Wenatchee?
Oh, for sure.
Close to home, obviously.
Yeah, I've been wanting to play for Wenatchee. I had originally signed with Wenatchee, and then I had Tommy John surgery that year, so obviously it didn't happen that summer. But this is I've been coming to the camp since I was about 8 years old. So
no kidding.
This is pretty solid.
Okay. So Brewster's home, though, right?
Yeah, Brewster's home.
Okay. Swing and a miss. You're on the next pitch to Hallback, and the count now at 0-2 here to Hallback. Or is this Hallback? It doesn't match the number I've got on the jerseys here. We'll have to check the new roster. What do you think of these powder blue uniforms?
Oh, they're amazing.
You like them?
I like the powder blue. They look sharp. Go good with the white pants.
And, you know, the navy blue's been around a long time.
Yeah,
so
the navy blue is an original.
And ripped to left field for a base hit. So the AppleSox in business here. Base hit back-to-back here for Wenatchee. So runners at first and second. That'll bring up the third baseman, Michael Davini. Checking my roster here to make sure. We'll have to. I'll go with what the lineup said. So
that one is Hallback.
It was Hallback?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Got the new jerseys. Might have mixed up some numbers.
Yep, I'm sure that's probably the case. So do you get a choice on your number when you come here, or is it kind of like, here you go, this is what you get?
The first few guys get to choose, and then as they come in, whatever's left kind of dwindles down. So if you're late, you're stuck with what we got left.
Quincy Vassar joining us here on the broadcast on the NCWLIFE Channel. You know, I was thinking about this. Last year I had one of the pitchers come up and join me during the broadcast, and Wenatchee had a rally. They went in the inning trailing and came out of the inning leading. So this could be a trend here.
That's the plan right here.
Pitch swung on a popped up in the infield. The infield fly rule has been called, and the first baseman, Van Remortel, will catch it. And so out number one is recorded here on a pop-up. So one out here. Everybody holds their base. That'll bring up right fielder Cole Miller. Bat Boy getting a big hand from the crowd here. And we've got maybe a pitching change coming up here, or they're going to check and see if the pitcher's all right. So tell me about your year at Vanguard.
We were 43-13, I believe. We had a solid year. A lot of great guys that I met down there. Most of them are actually local. I was one of the few from out of state.
I was going to say, how is that being a Brewster kid and going cross country like that?
It was an experience for sure. The entire league is Christian schools, so a lot of great competitors and a high character conference that we played in. Got to meet some really cool people down there. The school is pretty great. It's a small school, about 2,000 kids, so.
Looks like we have possible injury. We hate to see that, but the starter for Bellingham, Cooper Barnum, heading towards the dugout right now, and he's not even offering an arm to his teammates as he comes out. So that's nothing you want to see. So while the pitching change is made, you can hang out for a little bit.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, Quincy Vassar joining us here on the broadcast. We'll take a break and come back as we'll find out who the new pitcher is for Bellingham. As Wenatchee has 2 aboard, 1 down. We're in the 4th, and a new pitcher will come back after the 60-second timeouts on the NCWLIFE Channel.
The new Hummer EV is everything you want in an all-electric vehicle. It's powerful, reliable, comfortable, and will take you anywhere you want to go, on-road or off. Why buy one of those lesser EVs when you can have one that uses them for traction? Order your Hummer pickup or SUV today from Sangster Motors, batteries included.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can lift this up.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Well, Clayton Hall is a new pitcher on the mound here for the Bellingham Bells. He is a 6-foot, 190-pound junior out of California, Santa Barbara, and making his first appearance for the Bells in West Coast League play. And Quincy Vassar joining us, who's a pitcher for the AppleSox. And you kind of were looking what I was looking at with the coach that came out to take out Cooper Barnum. Hard to say, but, I mean, he didn't give any high fives on his way off the mound, so that's usually not a good sign.
No. They're kind of. It looks like they're tending to his elbow right now, forearm. That's never a good sign, even for a guy on the other team. You know, you hate to see that.
Tommy John, you said you had that surgery. When was that? Was that while you were at Bellevue?
I had that my incoming incoming freshman year at Bellevue. Had it in the fall.
So did you know?
Yeah,
something wasn't right.
You can hear it typically happen. A nice pop, loud enough for everyone to hear. I mean, we have the headphones on, so we're not sure if we could hear anything from him there. But
yeah,
we're definitely hoping it's something less than that. Maybe just a strain or a little overuse.
Dan's showing off a AppleSox Coyote bobblehead here. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate that. Was that a giveaway tonight, or did you bring that from the station? Oh, a giveaway tonight. Oh, okay. All right. How about that? Quincy Vassar joining us here, who's out of Vanguard playing this summer for the AppleSox. So you were coming here as a kid for the camps. I mean, how fun is it now to put on the AppleSox uniform after all these years?
Oh, it's just like a kid's dream. They're walking around, they want balls and whatnot. That was just me 10 years ago. Sign my ball, whatever. And
so did you get any good signatures of guys that went on? And
I have no idea. If I can find those balls, maybe, got Marco Gonzalez or something.
Yeah, right.
Who knows?
Right.
I got to find them.
Right.
They're somewhere, I'm sure.
So getting as many warm-up tosses as he needs is Clayton Hall here for Bellingham. That's a tough situation. Have you been in a situation where you had to come in to relieve somebody that got injured?
Yeah, I actually had to do that this year. You'd be surprised how quickly you can get warm when they say you're in now.
Yeah. Kind of adrenaline jump.
Yep.
And here you go.
Just a little spike in energy.
So you got to be proud of your Brewster Bears, state champs again.
Oh, my goodness.
They were honored before the ball game here tonight. Do you know any of those kids that are on the team?
I do. My little brother's on the team.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Those guys are a group of competitors. I mean, they know that they might not be the most talented, but they grind every single game. That group has been together for.
Pitch gets by. The catcher goes all the way to the backstop. That's going to move the runners up 90 feet. So Apodaca goes down to third on a wild pitch. Hallbeck winds up down at second. 1-0 the count to Cole Miller. Tough situation for Clayton Hall to come in. First pitch is a wild pitch. Goes all the way to the backstop. So the AppleSox with a chance to do some damage here in the fourth inning as they trail it 2-0. Here to the Bells, and Cole Miller at the plate. The next pitch bounces in for a ball. 2-0 the count to Miller. Grant Sherrod also waiting on deck here for Wenatchee. Tough series against Bellingham so far. Runs have been few and far between.
Yeah, we left a lot of guys in scoring position.
Yeah,
these
last
past few
night
days.
there was 10 runners left on base.
Yeah. We actually out-hit them last night and ended up losing 5-0. It was just one of those days.
What's your feeling? I mean, you've been on different teams now beyond high school. You played community college ball now at Vanguard. You bring a mix of guys in that you don't know. What's your feeling so far for the AppleSox?
Oh, especially in this league, it might not be about the most talented team.
Pitch swung on and lifted in the air to right field. Long run for the right fielder, and he'll get a run out of room in foul territory down there. So staying alive is Cole Miller with a count now at 2-2. Everybody will go back to their bases. So it's early, I know.
Yeah, the teams that tend to click the quickest and work together, not a lot of individuals. You don't know many people. The teams who get along pretty quick and start playing sharp together, those are the ones that tend to show early success.
I'm still getting to know the team, too.
Yeah.
Are there any guys that you recognize that are on your team that maybe you faced or played with or against along the way?
I've played with and against most of the guys on our team.
Pitching for Bellingham last year. Sure.
Yeah.
Pitch to the plate, swung on a miss, so gone on strikes is Miller. So that's the second out for Wenatchee, and now it's going to have to be a 2-out hit here for Grant Sherrod. But tell you, if you're having a guy at the plate that could do it, it's a guy hitting 409 right now for Wenatchee.
Yeah, we got a lot of guys from the Valley on our team.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of local guys that know each other.
Got, some Chelan guys that are playing.
Two Brewster kids.
Right. So Grant Sherrod 0 for 1 in the ball game and grounded out to short in the third. Quincy Vassar joining us here on the broadcast. A swing and a foul back, and he was close on that one. 0-1 to count to Grant Sherrod. A lot of chatter coming from the dugout below me. It sounds like, you guys are doing what you can, right, to get them hyped for every at bat.
We're trying to break out of this
little skid here.
This little skid.
Yeah.
Everyone's involved.
0-1 the count to Sherrod. The pitch here is a fastball missing way high, and the count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. So as a pitcher, when you're watching other guys pitch, what are you watching for? And are you helping your hitters at all if you see something?
Yeah,
a tell or something.
Any little thing he does different on certain pitches. If he digs a little hard, shakes the glove, stuff like that. You're able to pick up on stuff like that.
1-1 pitch is a fastball missing inside for ball 2.
A lot of guys tend to short arm off speed, and you can pick that up out of the hand. That's another thing that hitters like to know. Something that can help them adjust early.
That's something that we don't normally talk about is pitchers helping their own hitters if they see something on the mound. 2-1 pitch here is swung on and fouled into the glove, and the count evens now to Sherrod at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Boy, how big would this be if he can come up with a 2 out here? I mean, especially when the runs have been so hard to come by lately.
It'd be huge for the team. Man, we need it for the emotions.
Yeah, no kidding.
For the momentum.
Stuka waiting on deck, hoping for a shot here. The 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on, and look out, Dan, that's coming your way again. And the count stays at 2-2. Matthew Ortiz over there getting some instructions from Dan Coots, our cameraman, saying, yeah, you got to keep your head on a swivel, especially when you're on top of the dugout with no net in front of you. At least I've got the net here, so I don't
You're a little more protected than he is over there.
Sherrod back in the right-handed batter's box, and the 2-2 pitch again, low for ball 3. First base is open. Stuka waiting on deck. Luke struck out in his first plate appearance.
Luke's a solid hitter. Hopefully we can get him a chance here.
The 3-2 pitch on the way is a fastball inside. This umpire has a slow strike call, and I was waiting to see if he was going to ring him up. But no, bases are loaded for Wenatchee, and Luke Stuka, chance to be a hero for the Sox. So Vanguard, I mean, you guys were really good. I mean, you have a lot of fans that show up at the games?
Not a ton.
Yeah.
It's a super small school. We have a good support system with the parents, close friends, and the students. The students are very good at coming to each other's game for support.
Fastball misses low and inside to Stuka, 1-0 the count. Again, Clayton Hall in relief here for Bellingham after Cooper Barnum apparently had some sort of an injury to his arm here in this half of an inning. Pitch to the plate, swung on and hit hard but foul and out of play, and the count goes to 1-1, and everybody's thinking about their cars back behind the clubhouse here.
That one was in the grass.
Oh, it was?
Close.
Okay, all right, so we're safe. The confines here at Paul Thomas are pretty big. Is this a pitcher-friendly park, would you say?
Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable pitching in this park. The wind swirls a lot, which doesn't favor pitcher or hitter really, but the dimensions are pretty large. So
well, sometimes you get that wind like tonight if it's really blowing out to right field. You get guys change their bats trying to lift it into that jet stream, which could help you as a pitcher.
Left-handers especially trying to get ahead on one.
2-1 pitch is a fastball missing outside for ball 3, so here we go.
Got to come to him.
Wenatchee has just 1 run in the 3+ games so far this week against Bellingham. Could even it with a ball outside the strike zone right now to Luke Stuka, the 6'2", 210-pound junior from Cal State Northridge back in. The reliever Clayton Hall delivers to the plate, swung on and grounded to the right side of the infield. Down on it is Hainline to throw to first in time for the out, and that'll do it for Wenatchee. They leave 3 big ones aboard on the pond. We will head to the 5th with Bellingham up 2-0. Can you hang for another half a minute?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Quincy Vassar going to hang out with us. Hope you hang as well as you're watching AppleSox Baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Are you a take charge kind of person? Consider a career as a health unit coordinator. You'll work to keep health facilities running efficiently by coordinating medical providers, patients, and departments. The Charter College Certificate in Health Unit Coordinator program can get you up to speed on basic patient care, health records management, health and safety procedures, and medical billing. And the 10-month online program includes a computer you keep. Get started at chartercollege.edu, where we work to get you to work.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Top of the order due up for the Bells here as we head to the 5th. Bellingham on top 2-0. Wenatchee's so close, but they strand 3 in their half of the 4th inning. Elijah Hainline, Josh Trujillo, and Cole Haig due up in the 5th for the Bells as we visit with Quincy Vassar out of Brewster. Now for Vanguard. You got another year coming up, Vanguard? Or?
Yeah,
okay.
Headed back down there.
I know there's a lot of moving around in college sports anymore.
Yeah. It's tough to tell eligibility for some guys.
Right. Well, you did. Everybody got an extra for COVID, right?
Right.
I mean, so you basically got fifth. You got some fifth-year seniors. You could have a sixth-year senior,
Yeah,
right?
you could. I had a medical red shirt, so I technically could be a 6-year senior. I know a couple other guys in the same boat who red shirted and then got the COVID year. So
what are you studying at Vanguard?
Right now, I'm elementary education.
Oh, really?
Yeah, K through 8 teaching.
So you want to be a teacher?
Yep.
Where do you want to go to teach?
I'm not sure. I like the small school, kind of like Brewster, but I don't know. Might move around a little bit.
Okay. First pitch misses here in the start of the fifth inning, and the second pitch misses as well. 2-0 the count to Elijah Hainline, visiting with Quincy Vassar out of Brewster. Graduated in, 2019?
Yeah, 19.
Okay. Class of 19 for Brewster. Vanguard. What's your mascot at Vanguard?
We have a lion.
A lion.
Lion.
Okay. Swing and a foul in front of the dugout, behind the dugout. Hard to see with the sunlight here. 2-1 the count. You know, that's something about this ballpark that's rather unique with the sun setting here. Now, this pine tree has gotten a lot bigger since I first started calling games 22 years ago.
It's a game changer.
But you're standing on the mound with that shock of sunshine either for you or against you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's times where, like first base, you can't see it all, can you?
Yeah.
I mean, looking back past the mound.
Depending on the day and the time, it shadows really well. I think it affects the hitters more than the pitcher.
Right, because you'll get in that shadow, and then the ball's emerging in the sunshine.
You're throwing from shadow into sunshine and then back into the shadow.
Right,
so.
right. Hard to pick up.
Yep.
2-2 the count here to Hainline as we visit with Quincy Vassar on the NCWLIFE Channel. The wind and delivery is swung on. Look out. That goes into the dugout and dances around. So your free time, I mean, you don't have a lot of free time because you guys are about playing every day, but pitcher's a little different for you guys. You kind of do have time down. So what do you do?
We still throw on days even when we're not pitching. Starters, we still throw 6 of the 7 days of the week usually.
2-2 pitch is strike 3 call. Gone looking is Hainline. I'll tell you, again, to keep Hainline off the base paths is an accomplishment for Wenatchee because he was a killer in Bellingham.
Absolutely.
Half of the base hits for the Bells, I think, came from that one guy. So one down here in the fifth brings up Josh Trujillo.
Yeah, he had a great week.
Trujillo is 1 for 1 with a triple and a run scored. He walked in his last plate appearance in the third. The only 2 walks thrown by Mason Philly got him in trouble in that third inning, and this pitch bounces in for a ball. 1-0 the count. Visiting with Quincy Vassar here on the broadcast for another half inning here, and I appreciate him taking the time to do it.
Of course.
So teaching small school, maybe you going to hang down where you're going to school now, or?
I'm not sure. The credentials are a little different from California for Washington. I love living in Washington. This
Good
is
job
probably
by
where I
Luke
want to end
Stuka
up.
over there to smother that ground ball to him and take it to the bag himself for the out.
2 down.
So now I went to school in Oregon, and I was also going into secondary education at the time. Then I switched to communications, and here I am 32 years later. But when I went into the teaching, I was actually a student teacher and all that. I mean, I was way into it. But when they found out I was going to move back to Washington, they it turned them off because they were training me to be a teacher in Oregon. Now, have you had that kind of feeling at all at Vanguard, or?
Not quite. It's a tad different than a public school.
Sure.
So they're a little more accepting of everyone's personal
choices
of where you want to end up or what you want to do with your degree.
Right.
They're not really pushing you into one way or another.
Sure. 0-1 the count here to Cole Haig with 2 down in the fifth. Mason Philly trying to get his second 1-2-3 inning of the ball game. This pitch misses for a ball. 1-1 the count to Haig, who is 0 for 1. He struck out looking in the first, had a sac fly for an RBI in the third. What is with the spring? We're not getting a spring.
I don't understand. My whole life here, I've never seen anything like this.
We were sweating. I mean, we had to worry about our camera shutting off. It was so
90+ degrees last year around this time.
So how was it spending did you spend the whole summer with Bellingham last year, or just
no,
a little bit of time?
just a couple. I was still on the TJ rehab, so I had an innings quota, just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Coming here this summer, so do you have a packet from your coaching staff at Vanguard saying, okay, this is what they want me to do here, Coach Wenatchee, this is what they want me to do this summer?
No, I didn't actually throw I only had around 35 innings at Vanguard, not as much as most other starters. Like guys like Philly threw 75 innings for a school this year. So they said,
fly ball deep to right field, and this one is gone.
Ooh.
Got up into that jet stream, but I think even without the wind blowing today, that one's going to get out of here.
That was hit well.
Solo home run for Cole Haig. And that is his first hit as a Bell this summer. And that's why they got him in the 3-hole, and he's a 6'3", 240-pounder, and he put everything into that swing. So it is now 3-0 Bellingham with 2 down here in the 5th, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Jack Van Remortel. So kind of freewheeling then coming here, or what's the plan for you?
Yeah, just try to get as many innings as I can, build up the arm strength headed back into the fall down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's something too that a lot of fans don't know about. You have fall ball aside from spring ball, right?
Mm-hmm. We play between,
what is it, 20 games, 30 games, something like that?
It's like 10, 15 usually scrimmages with local schools.
Right.
It's still a solid amount.
Sure.
Better weather down there in the fall though than we get here. So.
Yeah. Van Remortel with the count in his favor at 1-0. And Philly's pitch swung on a foul back. The count even at 1-1 strike. So, what's your repertoire? What's your pitching? What do you have?
We got the Coyote.
Coyote joining us here. Okay, we gotta get a selfie with the Coyote. So hang on, let's see if I can work my phone while I do a broadcast, while I do this, while I do that. I don't know. I'm technologically challenged here. Okay, here we go, gang. All right. Off-speed pitch here misses for a ball. 2-1 to count now to Van Remortel. So we were saying before Coyote got in for the selfie.
I work with a 2-seam fastball. I'm not a 4-seam pitcher. Change-up, slider, and curveball.
This pitch swung on and hit in the air. This one is playable. Should be for Apodaca. Wind raising havoc with it, though, and boy, with his back to the wall, makes the catch for the out. Well, Quincy Vassar, thank you very much for taking the time to join us on the broadcast.
Thank you for having me.
Best of luck for the rest of this summer, and we'll be watching.
Excellent.
All right, Quincy Vassar joining us here as the AppleSox trail the Bellingham Bells by a score of 3-0. We head to the bottom of the 5th. You're watching Sox Baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35-plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today. When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Well, thanks again to Quincy Vassar, the 6'1", 190-pound junior out of Vanguard University, originally from Brewster, I should say. Don't confuse the two, Eric, for goodness sakes. Joining us here on the broadcast as we head to the 5th inning of play. Bottom of the 5th, I should say. Sox trailing it now 3-0 as Bellingham added on another on a solo home run to right center field by Cole Haig in the 5th. Xander Orahudos is due up here in the 5th. He'll be followed by Joichiro Oyama and Ezra Sampiri. Now, I said this a long time ago back in my radio days. I used to do a little sports feature called Time Out. And I entitled it, Thank God for Sports. And I'll explain why coming up. First pitch of the inning is high and inside to Orahudos. 1-0 the count. He is 1 for 1 with a base hit to left. One of the 4 base hits for the AppleSox in the ball game. No runs to show for it here. This pitch swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 1-1 to Orahudos, the second baseman for Wenatchee. But thank God for sports, because I would not have a clue on how to pronounce some of these interesting names from all around the world. Strike here called, and the count goes to 1-2. And because I paid attention to sports since I was a kid, I got to learn how to use the language. This pitch swung on and hit on a soft liner right to Ty Saunders at third base. So a line out to third for the first out here of the 5th. And that'll bring up Joichiro Oyama.
Now batting, Joichiro Oyama.
Oyama is 1 for 2 in the ball game. Struck out in the first and singled to right center in the third. Steps up here with nobody aboard. 1 out in the 5th for Wenatchee. Still trying to scratch across the run here. Curveball in for a strike to Oyama. 0-1 the count to Oyama. But yeah, just watching names and finding heroes in baseball and basketball and football, and especially paying attention to sports like tennis and golf. I mean, you really have to kind of get your stuff together and understand the language and the countries from which a lot of these people come originally. Swing and a miss, but the ball's in the dirt. The throw down to first base will be in time. So a K-2-3 on the put out of Oyama for the second out here in the 5th inning. That'll bring up Ezra Samperi. Samperi, a 5'7", 170-pound senior, also from Gonzaga, along with Apodaca, who waits on deck. 2 down to the 5th. Samperi looking for his first hit. Flew out to right in the first and hit into a fielder's choice to end the third. First pitch here is taken for a strike. 0-1 to count to Samperi. I talked about putting my jacket on, and then I didn't do it, so I'm going to have to do that, certainly. The 0-1 pitch is a fastball strike on the outside corner. And I'll tell you, a couple of pitchers and a couple of good burners here. Barnum, the starter, Clayton Hall now taking over. And the 0-2 pitch from Clayton Hall, working in relief of Barnum, is swung on and right back past the mound over to the second baseman. Hainline there, throw in time. Boy, I'll tell you, Elijah Hainline is MVP quality for the Bells, as he has been a busy guy here tonight and makes the third out. So 3 up, 3 down story for the AppleSox here in the 5th. We will head to the 6th inning of play. Bellingham leading at 3-0. You're watching AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Come on, I'm a certified technician. I was trained to take good care of you.
9. I've only been to the...
I've been coming here for years. These guys are great.
Look around. The BMW, the Jag, the Volvo, they're all waiting for regular service. Well, the BMW has a little computer issue, but that's nothing we can't handle. Come on in.
From regular maintenance to computer troubleshooting, trust the Global Car Care technicians with your import, diesel-powered, or domestic vehicle. Global Car Care. They speak your car's language.
Dankeschön.
I'm Brian Thorpe, and I'm proud to say that Global Car Care is growing. We always do the right thing, and because of that, we're busy, and it's time to hire an experienced automotive technician. We spend as much time with our coworkers as we do our own family. I want them to understand they're not a number here. They're a person with a family, and I want them to be part of this family too. Do you want an owner that understands and respects what you do every day? I'm that guy. Our compensation is the best in the area. I want you to have your career with us.
Welcome back once again here to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium as we head to the 6th inning of frame. It is a 3-0 Bellingham lead here over the Wenatchee AppleSox. And it looks like we've got a new pitcher on the mound here for Wenatchee. Unfortunately, the number on his uniform doesn't match anything I have. So I'm going to have to check in with Joel Norman, have him help me out as far as the pitcher's name is concerned. Well, they got the new uniforms, and I'm sure that it was kind of a hand them out as they came in type of a situation. So nothing on the roster matches the gentleman on the mound here. So we'll figure that out coming up shortly. In the meantime, Bellingham will bring up Christopher Campos, Will Cresswell, and Ty Saunders due up here in the 6th inning for the Bells. Campos is 0 for 2 in the ball game. Flew out to right in the 1st and grounded out to 2nd in the 3rd. Bellingham scored a run in the 1st inning. If you're just joining us, a 1-out triple by Trujillo, and then he scored on a 2-out double by Van Remortel. That made it 1-0. Bellingham added another run in the 3rd as they brought 6 men to the plate in the inning. Leadoff base hit for J.R. Freethy. He scored on a sac fly by Cole Haig. That made it 2-0. And then another run added in the 5th on a solo home run to right by Cole Haig. And that's where we are here at 3-0.
Now batting Christopher Campos.
So Campos will face the new pitcher on the mound for Wenatchee. Meanwhile, done after 5 innings of work here tonight is Mason Philly. He gave up the 3 runs. All 3 were earned on 5 base hits. He struck out 4 in the ball game and walked 2. So that's the line for Philly. He's on the hook for this one so far. Campos in, and the first pitch to him swung on and fouled away in the count 0-1 on Christopher Campos. Again, hoping to get an assist here from our buddy Joel Norman up in the press box, but that's a matter of him looking at his phone to tell us whether or not who this man is on the mound right now. I know Dan Kuntz is out running around here. Maybe Dan could get a little assist here for me as well. 1-1 the count to Campos. I know there was a youngster that just came into the stadium today. I'm trying to look at his face here. I met a youngster earlier today. He and his dad were here at the ballpark while we were setting up. And Joel Norman said he might get into the game tonight. So this could be him. This pitch is in there for a strike, and the count 1-2 to Christopher Campos. Will Cresswell, Ty Saunders also due up here in the 6th for Bellingham as they lead Wenatchee 3-0. 1-2 the count to Campos. And the right-handers wind up and delivery on the way to the plate. Just swung on and chopped off the plate right to first base. And right there to take it to the bag himself is Luke Stuka. So 3 unassisted on the putout. So 1 out here in the 6th. Brings up the catcher, Willis Cresswell, who's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Struck out looking in the 2nd and grounded out to 2nd in the 4th. Looking up Joel Norman's way, and I don't see him looking at his phone because he's busy in the middle of a broadcast, just as I am. So we're kind of left to guess here on the man on the mound right now for Wenatchee. This pitch, curveball, nice pitch to Cresswell. Strike called, 0-1 to count. Well, they've got more right-handers than they do left-handers. So that doesn't narrow it down too much here, looking at the roster for Wenatchee. This pitch is taken, and ball called by the home plate umpire, Vinny Mariana. 1-1 to count to Cresswell. Catcher's 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out looking in the 2nd and grounded out to 2nd in the 4th. That's his line so far tonight. They wind up in delivery on the 1-1 pitch. Is in there for a strike on an off speed, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Well, the youngster I met earlier today said he was from Santa Clara, and I don't see a Santa Clara player on the roster. Clayton Hall is from UC Santa Barbara. Close. The 1-2 pitch on the way, swung on a hit hard, and that's going to get into center field for a base hit. So a 1-out single up the middle, first hit of the ball game for Cresswell. And with 1 on and 1 out, that'll bring up third baseman Ty Saunders. I I also am going to go online, which, by the way, you can do as well, to the West Coast League's website. And they have Point Streak is the official stat body for the West Coast League. And they keep track of the games live. So we'll see maybe if I can get a little assist from Point Streak in the live game broadcast that they have going on. Meanwhile, 1-0 the count here to the next batter at the plate, Ty Saunders. This pitch bounces in for a ball. Count goes 2-0 to Ty Saunders, who is 0 for 2 in the ball game with a ground out to third, and he struck out looking in the fourth. So Mason Philly goes 5 innings, gives up 3 runs, 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, and a couple of walks. Line score for him tonight, as the Bells lead it by a score of 3-0. Wenatchee still looking to get their first run against Bellingham. Well, a second run of the week. Swing and a miss here, a hefty cut by Saunders, and the count goes to 2-1. So it says here that Sinclair is the pitcher for Wenatchee. I'll go with what Point Streak says. And of course, there's no Sinclair on my roster. But we'll go with at least his last name is Sinclair. I'll see if they also put the first name here. Oh, they did. And it's Riley, who is from Camas. Okay, Riley, welcome to Wenatchee. So Riley Sinclair, big tall right-hander on the mound now for the Wenatchee AppleSox. Runner from first feigns a run to second. The pitch is taken for a strike by Saunders. And the count now even to Saunders at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Riley Sinclair taking over for the AppleSox on the mound here in the 6th frame, with Bellingham up 3-0, and the Bells with a runner at first base and 1 out here in the frame. Saunders shakes off the sign from Ezra Sempiri and ready to deliver the 2-2 pitch. Bounces in, gets away from Sempiri, and down to second base on a wild pitch goes Cresswell. Full count now to Saunders. So Riley Sinclair making his debut for the AppleSox here in this ball game tonight. By the way, we could check the scoreboard for the West Coast League while we've got the page open here. Bottom of the 5th inning, Cowlitz is leading Ridgefield 6-0 right now, looking at the West Coast League scoreboard. 3-2 count to Saunders, and Sinclair's delivery is a check swing. I think he went around, and he did. Or did he? Or did he? No, he didn't. And you can hear the coaching staff for Wenatchee below me asking why he didn't help, why didn't ask for help on that check swing. I thought he went around, but no, they're going to say ball 4. So a walk given up by Sinclair. So 2 aboard now with 1 out. That brings up Daniel Gernon. Gernon 0 for 2 with a ground out to short and an error on the center fielder Apodaca on a deep ball hit to deep center field. Sinclair ready, and the delivery to the plate is a little high for ball 1. So Riley Sinclair making the first appearance for the AppleSox here this summer, as he is just into town, as are many of the AppleSox after finishing up their college seasons. Riley Sinclair out of the Seattle University. This pitch is a strike, and the count even to Gernon at 1 ball and 1 strike. Daniel Gernon, center fielder for Bellingham, steps up with 2 aboard, 1 down. We're in the top of the 6th inning. 3-0 Bellingham on top of Wenatchee here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Sinclair ready, and the 1-1 pitch on the way to the plate is a curveball in there for a strike, and the count goes to 1-2. So Sinclair graduated from Camas High School in 2020. A couple of seasons for Seattle University. 0-8 in his 2 seasons in 12 starts, 20 appearances for Seattle U. The 1-2 pitch on the way to the plate, swung on and fouled back, and the count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. I got it. Thank you, though. Malcolm came to check on me. So 1-2, the count remains here to Daniel Gernon. I think Dan Kuntz must be back in the van now running things, because Malcolm Whitehall just appeared over my shoulder and was going to help me out with the name on the guy on the mound, but we got it thanks to modern technology. 1-2 pitch again, swung on and fouled back. The count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Our broadcast here on the NCWLIFE Channel brought to you in part by Harvest Valley Pest Control, your guide to a pest-free life. Harvest Valley Pest Control uses kid and pet-safe material. Call 509-797-0090 for a free estimate. One and two, the count to Gernon. As it remains, tough battle here. Sinclair's delivery is swung on a fly ball to right field. And over to his left is Cody Miller. Will catch that a couple of steps from the foul line down there. And the runner at second will hold. Runner at first will hold. So a fly out to right for the second out. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, J.R. Freedy. Freedy is 1 for 2, scored a run back in the 4th as he got aboard on a leadoff base hit. Scored on the sac fly by Cole Haig. He grounded out to short in his last plate appearance in the 4th. So infield, be ready. Oyama giving a hard time out there to Cresswell at second base. Pitch on the way is a fastball in there for a strike. Riley Sinclair working in relief of Mason Philly. Sinclair, a 6'4", 200-pounder. Junior to be at Seattle University. The 0-1 pitch by Sinclair on the way is a fastball missing away for ball 1-1 the count. Our broadcast also brought to you by JDSA Law, full-service law firm committed to your journey in life. 1-1 the count. Here to J.R. Free, the number 9 batter in the order, with 2 down and 2 aboard for Bellingham. Pitch here misses outside. Count runs to 2-1. Wind still blowing out to right field on a hand-blowing kind of a night here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Definitely not the June weather that we typically enjoy here on the Wenatchee Valley. 2-1 pitch from Sinclair is a little bit out of the strike zone for ball 3. Again out at second base, Will Cresswell. Ty Saunders at first. 2 down in the inning. 3-0 ball game. 3-1 count to J.R. Freedy. Sinclair takes a big, deep breath, and they will fake the throw out to second base as Oyama was coming in. And tough when you're a new pitcher in the system. You're not used to working with the infielders. So Oyama broke towards the bag at second, and he's been jawing the whole time with Will Cresswell out there as he leads off from second base. The 2-1 pitch is swung on and missed, and the count now even at full at 3-2. So the runners will be going on the pitch with 2 outs in the inning, and a full count here to J.R. Freedy. Riley Sinclair trying to keep the Bells right where they are at 3 runs in this game. The right-handers check of the runner at second. The 3-2 pitch swung on and popped up. Wynn's going to play with this. Back is Oyama. Ball's going to be caught over his head. What a catch by Joichiro Oyama. Somehow able to range and work with the wind against the wind and come up with an amazing catch. That'll do it for Bellingham. They leave 2 aboard. We will head to the bottom of the 6th. Wenatchee needs to get the bats going. They trail at 3-0. You're watching AppleSox Baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free.
Harvest Valley Pest Control.
The road can be a crazy place. Uh-oh! That's why Les Schwab Tires fixes brakes, steering, and more. And those guys don't. Keep driving. I'm just glad Les Schwab puts my safety first, so I can backseat drive with confidence.
Hit the road safely with Les Schwab and save up to $150 when you buy select tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, celebrating 70 years of doing the right thing.
New pitcher takes over the mound here for the Bellingham Bells, and that would be Elliot Gallegos, a UC Santa Barbara project. He's a junior from Torrance, California. He will take over here on the mound as Clayton Hall works an inning and 2/3 of relief of Cooper Branham, who again went down in the 4th inning with an apparent arm injury, and you never want to see that. I don't care which side of the ledger you're on. Hall goes inning and 2/3, no runs, no hits, struck out 2 and walked 1 in his 1.2 innings. So Elliot Gallegos taking over on the mound here for the Bellingham Bells. Bellingham leading at 3-0. Due up here for the AppleSox in their part of the 6th will be Enzo Apodaca, Matthew Hallbeck, and Michael Davini. So tough part of the order here for the new pitcher Gallegos to see as he takes over. We'll see if we can get any information on Mr. Gallegos besides his college of choice.
Enzo Apodaca.
There we go. He's a 6'2", 205-pounder from UC Santa Barbara. Gallegos making his first appearance here for Bellingham this summer. Sox trying to find a way just to get base runners and get a run across. Pitch to Apodaca is low and outside for a ball. 1-0 the count to Apodaca, who is 1 for 2 of the ball game. He grounded out to second in the first and got his first base hit of the 2022 summer collegiate season back in the 4th. Sox got 2 aboard to start the 4th, but just could not get a run across. The 1-0 pitch on the way to the plate is across for a strike, says the home plate umpire Vinny Mariana. And the count even to Apodaca at 1 ball and 1 strike. Appreciate you joining us here on the NCWLIFE Channel tonight for live baseball coverage from Paul Thomas Senior Stadium here on the campus of Wenatchee Valley College. The 1-1 pitch is bouncing in for a ball. 2-1 the count. Our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Mini Blinds and More, specializing in custom blinds, shades, draperies, exterior awnings, and sunscreens with unmatched customer service. And yes, we someday will get sunshine and we will get warm temperatures. According to Grant Olson, our weatherman at the NCWLIFE Channel, he says next week we should finally see temperatures more June-like next week. We'll see. 2-1 pitch here is a little high for ball 3. Enzo back in a Wenatchee uniform this summer after his sophomore season at Gonzaga. Ready for the 3-1 pitch to come to him. That's low and inside for ball 4. So the AppleSox get the leadoff man aboard for just the 2nd time here in the ball game, and that was Apodaca who got aboard to lead off the 4th. Now does it again here in the 6th. That'll bring up Matthew Hallbeck. Matthew is 1 for 2 in the ball game with a ground out to second in the second, and a base hit in the fourth. And a youngster here in the crowd saying, "Hit a home run." That would be nice. First pitch to him is a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 to count to Hallback. We've got the AppleSox mascot Coyote sitting down with us here on the broadcast. How we doing, Coyote? We got to get some runs going here. We got to have a rally towel or something, huh? 0-1 to count to Hallback. With a runner at first base. Yeah, the pitch on the way, swung on and hit foul down the right field line towards the bullpen area. That'll clang off of something hard down there. I hope it wasn't a person. 0-2 the count. Wenatchee first of 3 games here this weekend, so come on out and see Coyote this weekend. 6:35 tomorrow night, 1:05 on Sunday. Dad's Day on Sunday, so bring Dad out, get some selfies with Coyote. 0-2 the count here to Hallback, and this pitch misses outside for a ball. 1-2 the count. And by the way, I see that the Coyote also has the powder blue uniform top on. Those are looking pretty sharp there, Coyote. Very nice, very nice. By the way, the old uniforms are available in the concession stand, or in the souvenir stand here. If you want to buy a game-worn uniform, you can do that here at the ballpark. This pitch, boy, a good eye there. Misses outside for ball 2. 2-2 the count to Hallback. AppleSox trail at 3-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning with a runner aboard. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Bellingham. No runs, 4 hits, and 1 error for Wenatchee. 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on and hit to the right side, through for a base hit. Apodaca rounding second. He's going to get into third base. No trouble at all as that ball dies in the outfield grass out there before Haig can finally pick it up. So runners on the corners for Wenatchee. And a little rally time here as Michael Davini will step up for the AppleSox. All right, Coyote, we got magic going, so we'll keep it going for you. When you come to the ballpark, be sure and bring the kids, bring the grandkids, because Coyote's here and a lot of fun to hang out with. So runners on the corners here for Wenatchee with nobody out against the new pitcher in the ballgame, Elliot Gallegos. So he finds himself in a little pickle here as Wenatchee's one of their best hitters steps to the plate, Michael Davini. He's 0 for 2. Looking forward to extend his hitting streak in West Coast League action. The first pitch is a strike. 0-1 the count to Davini. Michael flew out to left in the second and popped out to the first baseman in the fourth. And that would be the last batter that Cooper Barnum would face because something happened on that pitch in his arm. It appeared anyway. The 0-1 pitch on the way, swung on. The ball goes all the way to the backstop. Apodaca coming home. He will slide safely for the first run of the ball game for Wenatchee. They trail it 3-1. Wild pitch. Going to be the call here as Apodaca comes home from third down to second base. Goes Hallback. Count even to Davini at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Wenatchee finally able to scratch a run across here against the Bells after being shut out 5-0 last night. They were shut out on Tuesday 7-0. They scored 1 run on Wednesday, losing 4-1. Looking for more here is Davini back in and ready with Hallbeck out there at second base. Pitch to the plate, bounces in. Nice stop that time by Cresswell, and the count goes to 2-1 on Davini. Cole Miller warming up on deck here for the AppleSox. Still nobody out. First base is open. Hainline trying to keep the runner close at second base. Gallegos looks. The 2-1 pitch is a fastball low and away for ball 3. So Wenatchee finally getting the kitchen warmed up. The pot is boiling a little bit here, and the Bells looking at that simmering pot and wondering if it's going to boil over. 3-1 count to Davini. Checks the runner at second, does Gallegos. Pitch to the plate is swung on, and that pitch was in the dirt, and they're going to say out is the batter. So that was a 3-2 pitch. My apologies. So that's the first out of the inning, and Davini 0 for the night so far. That'll bring up right fielder Cole Miller. Miller 0 for 1. Grounded out to first in the second, struck out swinging in the fourth. So he's looking for his first hit. And Davini Probably mad at himself a little bit because he swung at ball 4. That pitch was in the dirt. In fact, in the dirt in front of home plate. Pitch to Miller is a little high for ball 1. Again, Wenatchee hosting Bellingham tomorrow night at 6:35 here at the ballpark. 105 on Sunday. Oh, by the way, we were talking about those jerseys available in souvenir stand, and talking with one of the dads of the players here is asking, well, where in town can I go to get souvenir merchandise? This pitch taken for a strike by Miller, and the count even at 1-1 strike. Basically, it's online at applesox.com or come out here at the ballpark. That's pretty much it. And I'll tell you, I looked at the souvenir stand. They got a lot of good stuff in there. And they've probably been busy with people buying sweatshirts here tonight. This pitch swung on a rip to left field for a base hit. Left fielder falls down. Rounding third and heading for home is Hallback into second base. And holding there will be Cole Miller on an RBI double. The Sox have finally scored more than once against Bellingham. They trail it now 3-2. Josh Trujillo slipped out there in left field. I think that Hallbeck would have scored no matter what. Give an RBI double here to Miller. And the Sox in business here in the 6th with 2 in, 1 aboard, and Grant Sherrod stepping to the plate. Sherrod's 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded out to short in the 3rd and walked in the 4th. Now steps up with a duck out on a pond in the form of Cole Miller. Chance to tie this ball game with 1 out here in the 6th. First pitch is taken for a ball outside. 1-0 the count on Grant Sherrod. Again, the wind continues to whip out to right field here tonight on a chilly night at the ballpark. Temperatures probably around 60 degrees, something like that. 1-0 the count to Sherrod. Pitch from Gallegos is swung on a miss. Boy, a hefty cut. He was trying to give Wenatchee the lead right there. The count evens to Sherrod at 1-1 strike. I guess I could look at my phone and determine what our temperature is for Wenatchee. 64, it says. I don't believe that with the wind blowing, that's for sure. The 1-1 pitch is taken for a ball. 2-1 the count. So Wenatchee finally gets more than 1 run across against Bellingham. And it comes here in the 6th. Apodaca scored on a wild pitch. And now an RBI double. And the pitch here is in the dirt outside, goes all the way to the backstop. And down to third goes Cole Miller. Another wild pitch. And a count 3-1 to Grant Sherrod. So fly ball to the outfield ties the game here. Bellingham will have, well, they brought the infield in, but now they back up again. Only one in is at first base, Van Remortel over there. 3-1 the count to Sherrod. Pitch to the plate, swung on and fouled into the glove of the catcher, and the count goes full now to Sherrod at 3-2 strikes. 1 out in the inning, 2 runs are in. And Cole Miller representing the tying run 90 feet away. Actually, with his lead, he's about 80 feet away right now. Gallegos with the pitch. Swung on a miss. That pitch was outside, but it was swung on a miss by Sherrod, and so he is an out. Second strikeout of the relief appearance for Elliot Gallegos. And with 2 down, that'll bring up Luke Stuka. Stuka's 0 for 2, struck out swinging in the 3rd and grounded out to second in the 4th. So Luke will step in with pressure on his back to try to come up with a 2-out hit. Miller with a lead at 3rd. Pitch to the plate is inside and hits Stuka on the thigh. So he will head down to first base on a hit batsman. And that'll bring up Xander Orahudos. Orahudos is 1 for 2 in the ball game. Single to left in the 3rd and a soft line out to the 3rd baseman in the 5th.
Now batting, Xander Orahudos.
A right-hander is warming up down to the bullpen for Bellingham. He's a big fella down there. behind Gallegos. Third pitcher of the night here used for Bellingham. Stuka with the lead at first. Pitch to the plate is a fastball in there for a strike to Orejudos, and the count 0-1 to Xander. Xander again came into the ball game tonight, batting .317 for Wenatchee, a senior out of Jamestown College. Chance to tie the ball game up here with a 2-out hit. Got to watch those wild pitches as well. The 0-1 pitch on the way to the plate is in there for a strike, and the count quickly 0-2 on Orejudos. Apodaca got aboard on a walk. Hallback got aboard on a base hit. Apodaca moved down to third base on a wild pitch. And then a wild pitch brought him home for Wenatchee's first run. This pitch, strike 3 called, gone looking on 3 straight pitches is Orejudos. That'll do it for Wenatchee, but they do get 2 runs on 2 hits. They leave 2. We will head to the 7th inning of play with Bellingham now leading at 3-2. You're watching AppleSox Baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCWLIFE Channel.
The new Hummer EV is everything you want in an all-electric vehicle. It's powerful, reliable, comfortable, and will take you anywhere you want to go, on-road or off. Why buy one of those lesser EVs when you can have one that uses them for traction? Order your Hummer pickup or SUV today from Sangster Motors, batteries included.
You're watching AppleSox Baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel. New ball game, 3-2. Bellingham on top after Wenatchee gets 2. And they're part of the 6th inning. To the 7th we go. Top of the lineup here due up for Bellingham. Elijah Hainline, Josh Trujillo, and Cole Haig in this 3-2 ball game. We'll catch you up to date on some of the other scores happening around the West Coast League. In the top of the 7th now, it's Cowlitz leading Ridgefield 6-0. And the bottom of the 8th, Walla Walla shutting out Port Angeles on the road 4-0. Bottom of the 7th in Corvallis, the Knights are leading the Yakima Valley Pippins 5-2. Kelowna on top of Kamloops in the bottom of the 6th, 5-3. Swing and a miss, and he's way out in front of that pitch here from Riley Sinclair, working his second inning of relief here for Wenatchee. 0-1 the count to Elijah Hainline. He's 0 for 2 on the night with a ground out, a strikeout, and a walk. Other scores we have, Bend leading at home tonight against Springfield 7-1. That's in the bottom of the 7th. And Portland and Edmonton postponed. Looks like weather in Portland not great for baseball. This pitch misses high for a ball to Elijah Hainline. The count evens to Elijah at 1-1 strike. Again, Riley Sinclair working in relief of Mason Philly. Now in a 1-run ball game. Pitch on the way by the right-hander is a fastball, strike on the inside corner, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Again, Vinny Mariana is behind home plate calling balls and strikes. Nick Hudlow is out there on the base pass. 2-man crew working this West Coast League baseball game here tonight at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Leadoff man here in the 7th. Count in favor of the pitcher, and the delivery here swung on a chopped over the third baseman to the shortstop. Oyama throw not in time. Oh my, close play at the bag at first. The ball took a high hop, and Oyama had to wait for it to come down. His toss across the diamond just not in time, and a very speedy Hainline will get his first base hit of the ball game. And that'll bring up left fielder Josh Trujillo. So 1 aboard for Bellingham. And again, Riley Sinclair, working in relief, came in the 6th and got himself in a little bit of a jam, but got out of it. Now has the leadoff man aboard here in the 7th with Trujillo stepping up. And the first pitch, as the runner goes, is a strike call to throw down to second base. Goes all the way to center field, popping up as Hainline, and he will move to third base on the throwing error. So we'll give him a stolen base and an E2 to move him down to third base. Meanwhile, 0-1 the count to Trujillo. So Bellingham with a chance to get a mark here in the 7th with a runner at third base and nobody out. 0-1 count to Josh Trujillo. Sinclair working from the stretch. And the delivery. Swung on him, fouled away, and the count 0-2. Best thing that Riley Sinclair can get right now is Trujillo to strike out. Infield drawn in all the way around for Wenatchee, trying to keep the run from scoring. Hainline at third base, very speedy on the base pass. 0-2 count to Trujillo. Pitch on the way by Sinclair is swung on and held by the catcher Sam Perry on a foul tip. Strikeout for Trujillo. Big out right there. So they're starting to toss things out of the press box because that was the 5th strikeout of the night for the Wenatchee pitching staff. So they start throwing out some sort of prizes from the Washington State Lottery. 1 out, 1 aboard at third, and Cole Haig stepping up to the plate now. Pitch to him is bouncing in for a ball. 1-0 the count, and boy, this guy can hit it. He's got 2 RBIs on the night and 1 ball that never came back. It went over the right field wall across that West Coast League sign out there in right center. 1-0 the count to him here. Infield still drawn in with just 1 out in the inning. This pitch is a curveball missing low for ball 2. And, you know, if Riley Sinclair wants to be careful with the man at the plate right now, I don't blame him one bit. 6'3", 240-pound junior. Looks a lot in his build like a man who single-handedly beat the Mariners last night in Mike Trout. The 2-0 pitch on the way to him here is a fastball, strike called, and the count goes to 2-1. Haig struck out looking at his first plate appearance in the 1st, had a sac fly for an RBI in the 3rd, and then that solo home run in the 5th. That is the difference in the game right now at 3-2. 2-1 the count. Pitch to him is swung on and hit in the air to right center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. It'll skip off of the right fielder, Cole Miller, and rounding second and going to dig for third. And now stopping at second to throw back and not in time on the throw. So it's a single for sure. I don't know if they're going to give an error on the ball that caromed off of the right fielder, Cole Miller, out there. But it's an RBI for Haig. And Bellingham extends the lead back to 2 runs at 4-2. We're going to have a visit on the mound here with Riley Sinclair, and that could be it for him tonight, and that will be it for Riley, as well as the pitching change. So the pitching change being made, we'll figure out who's on the mound when we come back. We'll take a couple of minute break, and you're watching AppleSox Baseball with Bellingham leading at 4-2. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, my name is Brian Brett, the Fire Chief for Chelan County Fire District 1, and I just wanted to talk about how amazing our Rivercom team is. They are intentional, purposeful, and skillful in everything they do, and they are the best at what they do. How they prepare, how they handle the caller, how they coordinate the emergency services, and how they push themselves to be the best. This is the kind of spirit that our Rivercom telecommunicators have. Our community needs you, we need you, we admire you, You're our lifeline.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Yes, it's me. It's my husband. I think there's something the matter with him.
It was a feeling that I'll never forget, like being able to meet them and know that he survived.
Okay, tell me what's happening. Is he conscious? No, he's not. Okay, take a deep breath for me. I'm getting you help.
Rivercom means to me that I still have my husband here with me. They're the ones that guided me through saving his life.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can lift this up.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Well, Connor Ashworth is now taking over for the Wenatchee AppleSox on the mound. Ashworth is 6'7" and 340. That's right, 3 Bills on the mound now for the Wenatchee AppleSox as he faces a situation with a runner at second base. 1 run is already in. And now the big right-hander will look in at Jack Van Remortel. First pitch is inside, missed by the catcher, goes all the way to the back, or actually kicks off the umpire and kicks over to foul territory on the third base side, and that allows the runner to move up 90 feet. So a wild pitch will move Haig to third. 1-0 the count now to Jack Van Remortel. So Ashworth, another Brewster product, will step in now for the AppleSox on the mound. He's a junior at Spokane Falls Community College. Pitch to the plate is high for ball 2. 2-0 the count to Van Remortel. Connor wearing that powder blue uniform. Looks like he's got, I think it's number 35. Again, none of the jerseys match, or is it 37? 37. None of the jersey numbers match the roster right now. This pitch misses for a ball. So 3-0 the count to Van Remortel. He's had a good night, couple of RBI doubles, and he flew out to center. 3-0 count to him here. Ashworth ready. Pitch to the plate is in there for a strike, and the count goes to 3-1. It is Brewster night here at the ballpark as the Bears state championship team was honored before the ball game. They have the trophy with them here tonight, and now watching a former Bear out on the mound trying to get it out here with a runner at third base and 1 out in the inning, and 1 run is in. 3-1 pitch swung on, popped up and outside the infield. The infield was drawn back, so a tough play, and the wind's going to raise havoc with this one, and the run's going to score, and ending up down at second base on the play will be Van Remortel. So yet another double, give him 3 in the ball game and another RBI, and Bellingham extends the lead to 5-2. Tough play for the entire infield there. Closest was Arahudas. Oyama was there as well, but the infield was drawn in with a runner at third base trying to keep the run from scoring. And so with that pop-up just outside the dirt portion of the infield, not much they could do, and then the wind raised havoc with the ball as well, and just no chance at all. So Van Remortel out at second base, where he has been 3 times tonight on 3 doubles and 3 RBIs. Christopher Campos now steps up. He's 0 for the night so far. A fly out and a couple of ground outs. So 2 runs in here for Bellingham after Wenatchee scratched across 2 runs in their last inning. So the Bells counter. Curveball in for a strike, and the count 0-1 on Christopher Campos. Our broadcast here on the NCWLIFE Channel brought to you in part by Together for Youth. I'd like to encourage you to dispose of unused and expired prescriptions to protect youth and the environment. Find a kiosk near you by visiting medproject.org. This pitch taken for strike 2 to Campos. A little confidence builder there for Connor Ashworth. And a big right-hander checks the runner out at second base, being held on by Jesus. And the pitch here bounces in for a ball. Good stop by Sampiri. And the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. So Jesus keeping him close to the bag out there at second for Wenatchee. As Jack Van Remortel getting himself acquainted with that second base bag quite a bit tonight. 1-2 the count to Campos. And Ashworth's pitch to the plate is swung on, popped up in the infield, or this is going to go out of play behind the dugout on the first base side. And the count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Our broadcast also brought to you by That Pizza Place in Cashmere. Call for reservations. Mention the $12.99 pepperoni pizza special. That Pizza Place in Cashmere. 1-2 the count to Christopher Campos as the wind continues to whistle through our microphones here at the ballpark. This pitch, strike 3 called, gone looking. On a huge second out is Campos. And that'll bring up catcher Will Cresswell. Cresswell is 1 for 3 in the ball game, struck out, grounded out, and singled to center in his last plate appearance in the 6th. Ashworth working from the stretch on the right hand, or on the rubber out there. Right-hander looking in for the sign from his catcher Ezra Sampiri. And the delivery to the plate is bouncing in. Nice stop again by Sampiri. And the count 1-0 to Will Cresswell. Next broadcast of AppleSox baseball here on the NCWLIFE Channel will be on Tuesday, June 28th. First of a series with the Kelowna Falcons in town. So be sure and join us for that. 6:30 pregame, 6:35 first pitch here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. The 1-0 pitch by Ashworth after a long look at second is low for ball 2. Boy, it is not warm here tonight. 2-0 the count to Cresswell. Fans are still hanging in here. Blankets and jackets and sweatshirts and whatever you can find to stay warm. The 2-0 pitch by Ashworth is in there for a strike. 2-1 to Cresswell. Came into the ball game batting .222 for the Bells. Bellingham first place in the West Coast League's Northern Division. Again, they split the season in half, so the teams that finish in first in the North and South divisions will automatically go to the playoffs. Doesn't matter what they do for the rest of the season. There'll be a first half winner. This pitch swung on and missed, and the count evens to Cresswell at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Whole bunch of new teams in the West Coast League this year, with Edmonton joining the league, Ridgefield joining the league, Kamloops joining the league. 2-2 the count here to Cresswell. Ashworth with 2 down here in the 7th, working in relief of Riley Sinclair. The big right-hander from Booster trying to bear down here for the AppleSox. Pitch on the way is swung on and grounded to the right side of the infield. And it's going to be a race to the bag at first, and winning it and nearly avoiding a collision is Luke Stuka. 3 unassisted on the putout, and that'll do it for Bellingham. But they do get 2 runs on 3 hits, and a man is left. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th after the 7th inning stretch here at the ballpark with Bellingham leading Wenatchee 5-2. You're watching AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, Visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
Come on, I'm a certified technician. I was trained to take good care of you.
9. I've only been to the dealer.
I've been coming here for years. These guys are great.
Look around. The BMW, the Jag, the Volvo, they're all waiting for regular service. Well, the BMW has a little computer issue, but that's nothing we can't handle. Come on in.
From regular maintenance to computer troubleshooting, trust the Global Car Care technicians with your import, diesel-powered, or domestic vehicle. Global Car Care. They speak your car's language.
Dankeschön.
Welcome back once again here to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. New pitcher on the mound here for the Bellingham Bells. Taking over is Ryan Scott, a junior from Maine Farmington. So Scott taking over in relief here. He'll be the fourth pitcher of the night for the Bells. Ryan, a 6'2", 190-pounder out of Maine Farmington, the University of Maine in Farmington. He'll face Joichiro Oyama to start off the bottom of the seventh here for the AppleSox. First pitch swung on and grounded towards the second baseman, and fumbling it is Hainline, and he will not get the throw over in time for the out. He won't even throw it. So that's going to be an error, I believe, charged on Hainline. That ball kind of handcuffed him as he moved to his right. So I believe E4 will be the charge there for Oyama to get aboard. And as far as Oyama is concerned, he doesn't care. He just needs to get Wenatchee back on the scoreboard here. After they scored 2 in the 6th, gave 2 back in the 7th, and we're at 5-2, Bellingham on top. This pitch is a strike to Sampiri, 0-1 to Ezra. Looking for his first hit of the night. He's 0 for 3. He's flown out, hit into a fielder's choice, and grounded out to second. 0-1 the count here as Ryan Scott works in relief for the Bells. Swing and a miss puts Samperi behind 0-2. Ryan Scott is 0-1 for Bellingham so far this summer. Has made, this is his third appearance. He's pitched 2 2/3 so far, and the ERA ballooned because he's given up 5 earned runs in his 2 2/3 innings. This pitch misses for a ball. 1-2 the count to Sampiri. ERA at 16.87 in his couple of appearances, with 4 walks and 2 strikeouts. So he's been a little wild. The 1-2 pitch on the way is swung on and popped up, foul down the first baseline and out of play. And the count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. Caught in a conflict, family, housing, business? Call Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center at 509-888-0957 for help. 1-2 the count to Ezra Samperi with Oyama at first base. He'll hold. The pitch is inside for ball 2. Enzo Apodaca waiting on deck here for the AppleSox. They trail it 5-2 here. Trying to get another rally going here in the bottom of the 7th inning. There you see the short lead at first by Oyama. Pitch on the way to the plate, swung on a hit hard but foul up the third baseline. And the count stays at 2-2 on Sampiri. Again, Sox will see Bellingham here for 2 more days, tomorrow and Sunday. 6:35 game time tomorrow, and 1:05 on Sunday for Father's Day. Bring Dad out to the ballpark. One of the greatest things my dad ever taught me, besides being able to tie a hook fishing, is the game of baseball. I was his bat boy as he was a Little League coach back in the day. Pitch on the way to the plate here, swung on a chop to the third baseman. Double play chance, the second for one. The relay to first, not in time. So Semperia aboard on a fielder's choice. 5-4. Oyama out at second base. And that'll bring up Enzo Apodaca. Enzo is 1 for 2 in the ball game and scored Wenatchee's first run on a wild pitch back in the 6th. Stepped up here in the 7th with a runner at first base and 1 down. Apodaca's first base hit was right through that gap with a runner at first base. And this pitch swung on and fouled back, and the count 0-1 here to Apodaca. Actually, I apologize. No, that was with nobody aboard in the 4th. He led off the 4th inning with a base hit to right. 0-1 to count to the Gonzaga product here. Oyama holds it first, pitches high and outside for ball 1. 1-1. I think the AppleSox could do themselves a favor by being a little patient here with Ryan Scott on the mound. Elliot Gallegos, by the way, third pitcher of the night, went an inning, gave up 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. That's his line on the night. Bellingham leading at 5-2 here in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out and 1 aboard for Wenatchee. The 1-1 pitch is high for ball 2. Fans that are gathered around home plate have the benefit of the bowl here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium, probably protecting them a little bit from the wind that's blowing at my back. I'm exposed here up on top of the dugout on the third base side. That ball, by the way, was a called strike, so the count even now to Apodaca at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So he chokes up a little bit on that bat here in protect mode with a 2-2 count. Runner from first fakes the run. His pitch swung on late by Apodaca, and he fouls it back. The count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the fans that came pretty much hanging out here despite a 5-2 ball game on a chilly night at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Hopefully the weather will get a little better as the weekend progresses. Should be nicer on Sunday at 1:05 start time. The 2-2 pitch by Ryan Scott swung on again, fouled back by Enzo. So the count stays at 2-2. Matthew Hallback waiting on deck here for Wenatchee. Wenatchee, by the way, in this ball game, as far as runners left on base, 7 tonight left on base. And our base runner out there right now with 1 down here in the bottom of the 7th. The 2-2 pitch again instead is a toss to the bag at first, and back on a headfirst lunge is Ezra Samperi. Two and two, the count remaining on Apodaca. Good battle here between Enzo and Ryan Scott. Curveball misses low, and a good stop by Cresswell brings the count full to Apodaca at 3-2. Enzo at Gonzaga this year hit .268 for the Bulldogs. Did have 42 runs batted in. This pitch swung on as the runner from first went. The roll goes through for a base hit. Browning second, heading in for third, and standing up safely is Samperi on a base hit, on a run and hit basically for Wenatchee. Samperi left from the bag and was breaking towards second, and that caused Hainline, the second baseman, to break towards the second base bag. And as the ball was struck by Apodaca, it went right where Hainline was, and that allowed Semperia to get around to third base. So runners on the corners for Wenatchee for the second inning in a row, and that'll bring up Matthew Hallback. Hallback with a couple of base hits. He's 2 for 3 and a run scored. Nobody working down to the bullpen for the Bells. They lead at 5-2, but Wenatchee trying to make a mark here. This pitch is taken outside for ball 1, 1-0 the count to Matthew Hallback. Hallback, a 6'3", 95-pound sophomore from UC San Diego. Winds have died a little bit in the last few moments. The pitch by Scott, swung on and fouled away on the first base side and out of play, and the count evens to Hallback at 1 ball and 1 strike. Our broadcast also brought to you by Walkabout Grill, where eating out is eating healthy. Open 7 days a week in Leavenworth and Wenatchee, or stop in at 108 Lounge at the Wenatchee Walkabout Grill. 1-1 the count to Hallback, and the pitch by Scott to him is a curveball. He looked like he wanted to wiggle and swing at that, but holds back nicely, and the count goes to 2-1. Mitch Darlington, new head coach for Wenatchee, as this pitch is in the dirt for a ball, and the count runs now 3-1 to Hallback. Darlington in the third base coach's box, hoping his Sox can come up with some magic here in the 7th and come up with a win here tonight. Wenatchee came into this ball game 5-1 at home. They've just struggled on the road so far this season. 3-1 pitch from Scott. On the way, he swung on and hit hard. This is going to get in, drop down for a base hit, skips off the center fielder, goes over his head. Rounding third, holding at third base will be Apodaca. It's an RBI double for Sampiri. Might call it a single with an error, but nonetheless, Wenatchee scores. It's now a 5-3 ball game. And 1 down. And 2 runners in scoring position. And Michael Davini due. He's 0 for 3 here tonight. He's hit in all 12 AppleSox games this season so far. Looking to extend that hitting streak, and boy, would it be a great time to do that right here. So give the RBI to Hallback, and that's 3 hits for Hallback on the night. He winds up down at second base. This pitch swung on a grounded back past the mound. Shortstop over will field and throw. A run will score. Give Davini an RBI. And it's now a 5-4 ball game. Make that 6-3 on the putouts. On Davini, Apodaca scores on the play. Hallback winds up down at third base. Sox with 2 outs here in the inning, but have clawed back immediately. It's a 1-run ball game, and Cole Miller, who had an RBI double in his last plate appearance, steps up here with a runner at third base and 2 down. Pitch on the way to the plate is a bouncing in, missing ball 1, curveball in the dirt to Cole Miller. Now a right-hander starts to warm up down to the bullpen for Bellingham. Things are still down in the bullpen for Wenatchee. 1-0 the count to Cole Miller. Ryan Scott feeling the pressure, and the pitch swung on and hit foul territory. First baseman over has room, will make the catch in foul territory, but the Sox do get 2 back. They score 2 runs on 2 hits. I believe a couple of errors. They only have 1 up on the scoreboard, but we'll head to the 8th inning of play. It's a 5-4 ball game. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
911, what is the address of your emergency? Yes, it's me. It's my husband. I think is there something the matter with him?
It was a feeling that I'll never forget, like being able to meet them and know that he survived.
Okay, tell me what's happening. Is he conscious? No, he's not. Okay, take a deep breath for me. I'm getting you help.
Rivercom means to me that I still have my husband here with me. They're the ones that guided me through saving his life.
I'm Brian Thorpe, and I'm proud to say that Global Car Care is growing. We always do the right thing, and because of that, we're busy, and it's time to hire an experienced automotive technician. We spend as much time with our coworkers as we do our own family. I want them to understand they're not a number here. They're a person with a family, and I want them to be part of this family too. Do you want an owner that understands and respects what you do every day? I'm that guy. Our compensation is the best in the area. I want you to have your career with us.
Welcome back once again here to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium as we head to the 8th inning of play. It's a 5-4 ball game, back and forth. Here we go. As Connor Ashworth will continue to pitch for the AppleSox here in the 8th inning. He'll face Ty Saunders, Daniel Gernon, and J.R. Freedy. That's the lineup. 7, 8, and 9 batters due up here for Bellingham. And the task right now for the Sox and for Ashworth is to just hold everything right where it is and put up a goose egg and head to the bottom of the 8th and try to get another rally going here for Wenatchee. Looks like we have a pinch hitter coming up for the Bells here, as it is number 4, and that's Gavin Schultz. So Schultz will be a pinch hitter for Ty Saunders. We'll see what Bellingham does defensively. The first pitch is in there for a strike from Ashworth. 0-1 the count. So we'll put a line through the night for Ty Saunders, who finishes 0 for 2 in the ball game. And now Schultz in there in the right-handed batter's box. The 0-1 pitch to him. Curveball is in for a strike. 0-2 the count quickly on Schultz. Daniel Gernon waiting on deck. The 0-2 wind and delivery by Ashworth, swung on and barely getting a piece of that was Schultz to stay alive. And the count stays at 0-2. Ashworth at Spokane Falls this year was 1-0 with a 2.18 earned run average. Had 1 save in his 10 games appeared for the Squatch. This pitch is a curveball missing low for ball 1. 1-2 the count to Schultz. Again, batting for Saunders. We're in the top of the 8th. If you're just joining us, it's been a great ball game so far. 5-4 our score, Bellingham on top. The 1-2 pitch from Ashworth swung on, and again, just barely getting a piece of that curveball was Schultz, and the count remains at 1-2 strikes. Pretty good crowd on hand here tonight, has hung out for this one, and they've been given an entertaining night. Sox would love just to get a win here at home. This pitch swung on and a fly ball deep to left center. Apodaca letting that wind blow the ball back to him, and he will camp there and make the catch for the out. So 1 up, 1 down for Bellingham as Schultz is out, and that'll bring up center fielder Daniel Gernon. Let's see if it is 22. It is. So Gernon is 0 for 3 on the night. Grounded to short, got aboard on an error in the 4th, and then flew out to right in his last plate appearance in the 6th. First pitch here, and they say he went around on a check swing. 0-1 to count. Good help by Nick Hudlow out there on the base paths tonight. Our 2-man crew, Vinny Mariana, behind home plate calling balls and strikes. Connor Ashworth, the Brewster product, with a pitch to the plate. Curveball misses inside for ball 1. 1-1 the count. AppleSox Coyote, the mascot for the Sox. Hey, by the way, happy Mascot Day. I heard it's National Mascot Day. That's pretty cool. Coyote joining us here in our broadcast location. This pitch is a fastball. Boy, just barely missed outside. And the count goes to 2-1. That's what I love about coming to the ballpark here at Paul Thomas is the fans very educated. Boy, they're going to let their voice be heard if they don't like what's going on out there with the umpires. That's the way it should be. The 2-1 pitch is a little high for ball 3, 3-1. I know Coyote's happy to have fans back and it's being normal and You don't have to wear a mask. I don't have to. Hey, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. 3-1 the count here to Gernon. Ashworth ready, and the pitch to the plate is a little low for ball 4. So that is the first walk given up by Connor Ashworth in relief here. And with a runner at first base, we'll see what Bellingham decides to do strategically as their head coach, Adam Giesland, is heading down towards home plate. Looks like they might bring in a pinch hitter here. J.R. Freedy, the DH, was supposed to bat. And it does look like they're going to go with a pinch hitter here. And he is wearing, looks like, number 1. And if that's the case, boy, my old eyes aren't what they used to be. That would be Nate Clough out of Federal Way. He's a junior at USC. So Clough, our second pinch hitter of the inning, will come into the left-handed batter's box to face the righty on the mound. 1 on, 1 out. Pitch to him is a little outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count. So Freedy ends the night 1 for 3 with a base hit and a run scored. The second of the 5 runs in the ballgame for Bellingham here this evening. Right-hander warming up down to the bullpen for the Bells. We'll probably see him in the bottom of the 8th. Right now, the job for Ashworth, hold that goose egg where it is on the scoreboard. Pitch on the way to the plate is a little, oh no, strike called by the home plate umpire. So the count evens to Clough at 1-1. Again, Nate Clough in the left-handed batter's box. Or it could be Clough. It's C-L-O-W. Maybe it's Clough. Ashworth with a peek over his shoulder at first base. And the big right-hander's 1-1 pitch to the plate. Swung on a miss. Pulled the string on that one. And the count now a ball and 2 strikes to Clough. As again the wind decides to whip up here, blowing out to right field with a left-hander at the plate. You got to be careful on a ball in the air to right field. Cole Miller playing pretty deep out there on right with that wind in his face right now. Runner at first base is Gernon. And the 1-2 pitch by Ashworth. The runner goes. The pitch is outside for a ball to throw down to second base. In time! They got him! Caught stealing. 2-6 on the putout. There we go. That's exactly what we needed, Coyote. 2 down here in the inning. The count now even to Clough at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Beautiful throw down by Sampiri to Oyama, covering the bag at second. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way to the plate. Bounces in for a ball. Count runs full to Clough at 3-2. Looking at the scoreboard, they did not give 2 errors to Bellingham in that last frame, so just 1 error on the scoreboard for Bellingham. 5 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. 4 runs, 9 hits, and 3 errors for Wenatchee tonight. This pitch swung on and fouled back. So the count stays at 3-2. Boy, I'm telling you what, it is cold, cold, cold. Full count here to Clough. Ashworth with the pitch. And that's a little low for ball 4. So the second walk given up here by Ashworth will put Clough at first base. And we'll see if there's another move here afoot for Bellingham offensively. And it looks like there will be. Well, Elijah Hainline is scheduled to bat. But it looks to me, oh yeah, okay. I'm sorry, I was looking at the next batter on deck. He will be a pinch hitter if he gets a chance. Hainline steps up. 1 for 3 on the night. And the first pitch to him misses for a ball. 1-0 the count. Hainline singled in his last plate appearance. He came around to score on the RBI by Cole Haig. Haig's got 3 ribbies on the night. Van Remortel also has 3 RBIs and 3 doubles. Don't want to see him here. Ashworth ready with the 1-0 pitch. It's a little outside for ball 2. 2-0 the count to Elijah Hainline out of Washington State University. And we're going to get a timeout here as we'll get a visit to the mound here. And this is Mitch Darlington coming out to the mound. I believe, no, I'm sorry, it's the pitching coach for Wenatchee. I thought it was Darlington there for a minute, but it is Aaron Vaughn talking to his big right-hander here on a 2-0 count to Hainline. With runners, well, a runner at first base in a one-run ball game, and that's the message right now is you got 2 outs, just come at the hitter. You got 7 guys behind you that are ready to make a play for you. 2-0 the count to Hainline, who climbs back in the right-handed batter's box, and boy, does he crowd the plate. Runner at first is Clow. Held on over there by Stuka. Pitch to the plate, swung on and missed, and the count goes to 2-1. Usually a visit to the mound elicits a strike down the middle from the pitcher, and that's what Hainline was expecting. He just missed it. Hainline back in. Where's that number 2 on his bat? On his back, I should say. It might be on his bat, too. You never know. 2-1 pitch is high. The snap throw down to first base, not in time. And the count runs to 3-1 on Hainline. I don't see anybody warming up down in the bullpen for Wenatchee, so it's up to Ashworth here to get her done. 3-1 count to Hainline with 2 down here in the 8th inning. 5-4 ball game. Wenatchee trailing it by 1, trying to give the fans in attendance here tonight something to cheer about on Brewster Bear night at the ballpark with the Brewster product on the mound. The 3-1 pitch to the plate is outside for ball 4. So 3 walks given up here by Ashworth in the inning. And the inning continues. Clow goes down to second base. Hainline winds up at first, and Josh Trujillo is scheduled to bat. We'll see if he will bat. Nope, it is not Trujillo. Instead, man wearing number 3. Jared Buhanda. First pitch to Buhanda is in there for a strike. The 3rd pinch hitter of the inning here for Bellingham and Coach Adam Giesland. 0-1 the count to Buhanda. And this pitch swung on, popped up, foul territory. I think this is going to get out of play. It will. It'll hit the top of the dugout just down from me here, and the count goes to 0-2 on Buhanda. Well, interesting choice to pull Josh Trujillo for Buhanda. Trujillo had a triple and a run scored in the first. He was 1 for 2, make that 1 for 3 on the night. He did strike out in his last plate appearance. Now Buhanda behind in the count, 0-2. Ashworth trying to get out of a jam here with 2 outs and 2 on. The 0-2 pitch swung on and fisted off the left side of the infield, and right there is Davini. His throw across in time to get the out. That'll do it in the 8th. Bells get a couple aboard, but they leave 2 stranded. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's a 5-4 ball game. Wenatchee due up next. You're watching AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
The road can be a crazy place. Uh-oh! That That's why Les Schwab Tires fixes brakes, steering, and more. And those guys don't. Keep driving. I'm just glad Les Schwab puts my safety first, so I can backseat drive with confidence.
Hit the road safely with Les Schwab and save up to $150 when you buy select tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, celebrating 70 years of doing the right thing.
Grant Sherrod, Luke Stuka, and Xander Orohudos due up here in the bottom of the 8th inning for Wenatchee in a one-run ball game, 5-4 our score. As Sherrod will step up, he's 0 for 2 on the night officially. Grounded out to short, struck out, and also walked. So Wenatchee with a little late rally here to bring themselves to within one of Bellingham, the team they've been battling with all week long, losing all 3 games in Joe Martin Field earlier this week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and last night. Trying to get a little revenge here tonight, but they still have some work to do with just 2 frames left to do it in, as Grant Sherrod will step up here in the bottom of the 8th. Ryan Scott, 4th pitcher of the night, still working for Bellingham on the mound. Right-hander looks in. There is a right-hander warming up down to the bullpen, who has been for a while. First pitch on the way to Sherrod is in there. No, a little inside, I guess, for ball 1. Boy, fastball looked pretty good to me, but apparently the home plate umpire says no. 1-0 the count to Sherrod. Batting .409 coming into the ballgame tonight. Still looking for his first hit of the ballgame. Pitch on the way, he is a fastball in this time for a strike. The count evens to Sherrod at 1 ball and 1 strike. Appreciate you joining us here on the NCWLIFE Channel. Eric Granstrom with you and a cast of 10s. No, there's a few hundred people that were probably here tonight. 1-1 to count. This pitch is a strike called. And the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes to Grant Sherrod, the 6'3", 210-pound junior from South Carolina upstate. Doing well for the Sox so far this summer, coming in batting .409 into tonight. Ryan Scott trying to keep Wenatchee at bay. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. And gone is Sherrod for the first out here of the 8th inning. That'll bring up first baseman Luke Stuka. Stuka's 0 for 2. He struck out, grounded out, and was hit by a pitch in his last plate appearance in the 6th. One quickly, the count to Stuka. And Scott ready with the next delivery. It's outside for a ball. 2-1 the count to Stuka. Xander Orohudos waiting on deck for Wenatchee. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Sox trail it by 1. Pitch is a curveball in there for a strike. Evens the count to Stuka at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wenatchee 2 runs in the 6th on a couple of hits. 2 runs and a couple of hits in the 7th to pull to within 1 here at 5-4. The 2-2 pitch on the way is high and outside for ball 3. Again, Ryan Scott has been known for throwing some pitches out of the strike zone. He came in a relief here in the 7th. He did not walk a batter, although the AppleSox were pretty patient with him. 3-2 the count now to Stuka. And the right-hander's big breath and delivery on the way is bouncing in for a ball. That brings the count full at 3-2. Pitch to the plate, swung on, and a fly ball to deep left field, but playing deep back there and having plenty of room is the new left fielder. So a fly out to left for the second out by Stuka, and that'll bring up Orahudos. So Xander Orahudo stepping up here in the 8th inning with 2 down for the Sox, trailing at 5-4. Pitch on the way to the plate is a curveball missing outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Dan Kuntz has been running all over the ballpark tonight, joining us here on the broadcast. Are you sure it's June 17th, for God's sake?
It's freezing outside.
I am just chilled beyond belief. Next pitch misses low for a ball. 2-0 the count.
I was born and raised here. I do not remember a spring like this ever.
No. And like I was talking about earlier on the broadcast, I mean, we were sweating at this time last year. I mean, it was in the 90s, well into the 90s. This pitch is inside for a ball. 3-0 the count to Orahudos, as the AppleSox try to get a little rally going here in the 8th inning. I bring Dan on the broadcast for a couple of reasons here. One, I like to have you on the broadcast. You know, you're a good baseball guy. Fun to talk ball with you. 3-0 the count to Orahudos here. This pitch is taken all the way for a ball. 3-1 the count. But I got to be honest with you, folks. I suddenly just am not feeling real well. Don't know something I ate or whatever the case is, but it is hitting me all of a sudden. So if I disappear, you'll know why. 3-1 pitch is a little inside for ball 4. So the Sox get a runner aboard with 2 down, and that goes back to the top of the order for Joichiro Oyama.
I forgot how lousy your hearing is.
Yeah,
These
sorry,
are
Dan.
the loudest headphones I've worn in quite some time.
Too many loud gymnasiums with cheerleaders and bands right close to me, so. Yeah, Dan's molars are rattling right now, and we could have a change in the pitching situation here for Bellingham. In fact, that's what we are going to do. So we're going to take a break, and Dan is going to take over the broadcast here for a moment, and we'll take a 2-minute timeout and come back. You're watching AppleSox Baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
The new Hummer EV is everything you want in an all-electric vehicle. It's powerful, reliable, comfortable, and will take you anywhere you want to go, on-road or off. Why buy one of those lesser EVs when you can have one that uses them for traction? Order your Hummer pickup or SUV today from Sangster Motors, batteries included.
Are you a take charge kind of person? Consider a career as a health unit coordinator. You'll work to keep health facilities running efficiently by coordinating medical providers, patients, and departments. The Charter College Certificate in Health Unit Coordinator program can get you up to speed on basic patient care, health records management, health and safety procedures, and medical billing. And the 10-month online program includes a computer you keep. Get started at chartercollege.edu, where we work to get you to work.
Welcome back to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Dan Kuntz filling in for the temporarily indisposed Eric Granstrom. We have a new pitcher for the Bellingham Bells. He is Nate Mendoza, right-hander out of Cal State Bernardino. He takes over here in the 8th inning on what the AppleSox hope will be a continuous rally, although I must say, in all honesty, the crowd has thinned out just a skosh over the last, I don't know, almost since the sun went down, because the sun's gone down, but the wind has not. And there are some pretty brave kids here who are wearing shorts, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's like when you're a kid. That's what you're going to do. High pop-up, just out of play. Of course, Paul Thomas Senior Stadium is quite quaint, and there's just not a lot of foul room for the catcher to come on in and make that play. Batting for the AppleSox, by the way, is Omaya out of California, Irvine. He's the leadoff player, leadoff hitter, Japanese native. Pickoff move that could have gotten a little on the nasty side, but first baseman for Bellingham was able to corral it. Joichiro Oyama at the plate, leadoff hitter. AppleSox trying to manufacture a run, and that's the way you go about doing it. Stolen base, and that'll be a stolen base. Although the ball was in the dirt, it was handled fairly cleanly by the catcher. And that puts the AppleSox in scoring position, trying to nibble away at this lead. 5-4 if you're just joining us. Bellingham on top. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2 outs. Inside, almost hit him. Of course, he has a very small strike zone. Joichiro has. Bats left, throws right. Don't see that a lot. If you're a left-handed hitter who can put the ball in play, you will find playing time. 3-1 the count. That ball's in the dirt. That's going to advance the runner. But again, a perfect example of what I was just talking about, how small the footprint is here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. That ball came right back to the catcher, so that's as far as they were going to get. So now we have runners on the corners for Mr. Sampiri. Don't think we're going to see another pitching change here, righty on righty, but coach wants to talk to him. They're going to talk a little strategy. Timeout for the Wenatchee AppleSox. This is a critical situation for the Sox. They're going to talk things over. 2 outs, runners on the corner. Now, of course, both of these runners have great speed. And scheduled to hit. Ezra Sampiri is one of the best ball players on this team. Number 2 hitter, supposed to put the ball in play. We'll see if he can. I'm surprised that the Bellingham pitcher isn't playing soft toss with such a chilly night. The umpires have no problems as long as you don't step on the rubber and throw actual practice pitches. You can step off to the grass and still play catch with your catcher to keep your arm warm, but he's opted not to, so that's something to look for. He hasn't thrown a pitch now in a couple of minutes, and when that happens, there's a tendency to groove a fastball. So let's see if Ezra Sampiri can take advantage of the situation. Again, with 2 outs, runners will be running on contact. Ball's into the dirt. They say foul tip, so runners can't advance. And a big first strike for the pitcher for the Bellingham Bells, Nate Mendoza. Took a big cut. That was a meaty pitch right there. He probably wants that one back, but that was a rear back and fire shot from Mendoza. So now it's 0-2 for Sampiri. Again, runners on the corners. Both runners have quite a bit of speed, but the only one that really counts is the runner on third base. He crosses home plate. We got ourselves a tie ball game. Both trying to do the double steal. They're going to go ahead and let him take second base. Tying run at third. go-ahead run at second. He was never going to swing at that pitch. That was a take it all the way kind of situation, I believe. And Sampini strikes out. Big strikeout. That kills the rally for the Wenatchee AppleSox. And we go to the top of the 9th inning with the score, the Bellingham Bells 5 and the Wenatchee AppleSox 4. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Brian Brett, the Fire Chief for Chelan County Fire District 1, and I just wanted to talk about how amazing our Rivercom team is. They are intentional, purposeful, and skillful in everything they do, and they are the best at what they do. How they prepare, how they handle the caller, how they coordinate the emergency services, and how they push themselves to be the best. This is the kind of spirit that our Rivercom telecommunicators have. Our community needs you, we need you, we admire you, you're our lifeline.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can just
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low price.
And we are back on a chilly June evening here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. We're to the top of the 9th inning. The Bellingham Bells leading the Wenatchee AppleSox 5-4. 5 runs, 9 hits, and an error for Bellingham. The AppleSox 4 runs on 9 hits and 3 errors. And we'll see if those errors will play a big role in that. Again, big Connor Ashworth from Brewster. Brewster was honored here. The Brewster high school baseball team, of course, won their state championship this year. They were honored before the game. Some of them are still here. There are some brave souls here, but the crowd has thinned out quite a bit here. Once the sun went down, the temperature dropped. Well, it dropped lower than a Gophers basement, quite frankly. So it is, I'm not going to lie to you, I am cold. Cole Hage leads off here in the top of the 9th inning, looking for some insurance runs for the Bellingham Bells. First pitch high and outside for a ball. Ashworth is going to have to be a workhorse here. There is one player warming up in the AppleSox bullpen. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't tell you who it is, but AppleSox are going to have to start conserving some arms as well. Both teams have gone through the pitchers so far tonight. Timeout called. And the 1-0, swing and a miss. Bit of a change up there. Evens the count at 1-1. Cole Hage, a Ivy Leaguer, goes to Columbia. You don't see this too often. He's from Fargo, North Dakota, and he goes to Columbia University in Morningside Heights in New York City. Don't see that too often. 1-2 the count. Ball's ripped and deep, and it is gone. Home run for Cole Hage. Got up in that jet stream. It's been very windy all day. There was no wind in the forecast at all, but the wind blows right to where he hit it, right over the Confluence Health, and that makes the Confluence Health sign, and that makes the score 6-4. Bellingham. That was a grooved pitch. He hit it right on the number, and poor Enzo Apodaca, who's been very busy out there in center field, had no chance to get that. So now it's a 2-run lead for the Bellingham Bells. And look who's back. It's Eric Granstrom. You just missed a home run, Eric. Actually, maybe you didn't miss a home run. Good to have you back.
Good to be back.
Hope everything is okay on your end of
Apologies.
No, it's quite all right.
That.
I am wishing I had brought my glasses. But I'm laboring through. While you were gone, the AppleSox ended up with runners on the corners. I'm sorry, I didn't keep the book in the bottom half of the inning. Right. AppleSox had runners on the corners. Didn't quite pan out. Big strikeout to end the inning, and you just missed a home run from
was it Cole Haig?
Cole Haig hit a home run.
Second of the night.
Yep. Right over the Confluence Health sign.
Okay.
Well struck. And now it's a 6-4 ball game in the top of the 9th inning.
This pitch swung on and grounded to the first baseman right there, Luke Stuka. He'll take it to the bag himself and retire Jack Van Remortel. So 3 unassisted on the put out there, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Christopher Campos. Thanks, Dan.
No, I had a good time. I haven't done that in about 25 years.
I forgot about your glasses. So close up like me, or far away?
When I golf or drive, I'm supposed to wear glasses, so I can read this. I can read anything in front of my face.
Yeah, just out there, you can't see numbers or anything.
Yeah,
like
once
that.
it goes to about 5 or 6 feet outside of my face, everything's a big blur.
Connor Ashworth continuing to pitch for the AppleSox. And quickly ahead here of Christopher Campos, 0-2 with 1 down here in the 9th. 1 run in, 6-4 ball game. Bellingham on top. The 0-2 pitch on the way by Ashworth is swung on and lifted in the right side and down foul and out of play. And the count stays at 0-2 on Campos here for the Bells.
Looks like the Sox have a couple of pitchers up, but I was speculating while you were gone, Eric. I think this is going to be his game, win or lose. I think he's going to finish it out. They got to conserve some arms.
Yeah, because you got 2 more games coming up here this weekend. Here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium, this pitch misses away for a ball.
So I think Connor's going to stay in this game to the end.
Could be. Could also, we're in the top of the 9th inning, by the way, so evens the count to Campos here at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, tomorrow night, 6:35 game time, and then 1:05 on Sunday for Dad's Day. This pitch swung on, that's going to drop in for a base hit to right center. So 2nd hit of the inning. The 3rd inning of relief here for Connor Ashworth, who came in for Riley Sinclair back in the 7th inning.
Pretty much just been varying his speeds, not a lot of movement. He's basically fastball, changeup. When he's trying to put any kind of action on it, it's not finding the strike zone particularly well.
Will Cresswell is up there now for Bellingham, looking for his first. Well, no, he's actually got a hit on the night. He's 1 for 4.
And they're bringing in the lefty, so I guess he won't be finishing out the game.
So much for all of that supposition. So with a pitching change made, we'll get a change here on the broadcast and take a quick break, come back, and we'll tell you who the reliever is for Mr. Ashworth, as it's a 6-4 ball game, top of the 9th inning, 1 run in. Bellingham still batting. We're coming up back next here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu, because we work to get you to work.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
Well, welcome back once again here to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Again, the jersey numbers are not matching the rosters, so we're going to have to do a little research and development here to figure out the left-hander that's taking over on the mound now for the Wenatchee AppleSox, as we have a runner at first base for Bellingham, 1 run in, 1 out, and Will Cresswell stepping to the plate. And this pitch bounces all the way to the backstop, and that'll allow the runner from first to go to second, Campos, on a wild pitch. So the first pitch from our new hurler on the mound. I'm sure what he wanted for his first pitch of the ball game, as it sails wide and goes all the way past Simperi, the catcher for the AppleSox. So 1-0 the count here to Will Cresswell, the catcher for Bellingham, in what has become a 2-run ball game again. Shin is the new pitcher. This pitch is a check swing, and the umpire says he went around. And the count even at a ball and a strike. The ball got away from the catcher, so I don't know if he said that was a foul ball. Could have been. So Gianluca Shin is now on the mound here for Wenatchee. Next pitch misses for a ball, and the count goes to 2-1. We'll see if we can find out more information about Mr. Luca. Or Shin, I should say. Gianluca Shin. 6'2", 205-pounder out of the University of Washington. Sophomore for the Huskies. Taking over on the mound here for Connor Ashworth as we're in the top of the 9th inning. The 2-1 pitch by Shin is in there for a strike, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Shin 1-0 for the AppleSox. This is his second appearance. He pitched in a win against Springfield, pitched an inning. He did give up 2 runs in that 1 inning of work, so his ERA right now kind of inflated at 18 as he comes in here tonight. Ashworth, by the way, 2 1/3 innings of relief here for the AppleSox. The 2-2 pitch by Shin. Fastball away for ball 3. Bellingham made some defensive changes in that last half inning after some pinch hitting. They had 3 pinch hitters come in the 8th offensively, so we'll see if they're sticking with those guys in those positions. Both benches, or both teams, have a lot of guys on the roster, so there's a lot of places they could go. 3-2 the count to Cresswell here with a runner at second base and 1 out, 1 run in. The pitch swung on and hit towards the shortstop. Right there, Oyama. They're going to get a rundown between third and second. And the tag will be made as he goes out of the base path, finally by Oyama. So it will be 6-4, 5-6 on the putout. So Cresswell gets aboard on the fielder's choice. 6-4, 5-4 for the second out of the inning. So Cresswell's down at first base. And Schultz, who came in a pinch hit role, will stay in there and bat for the second time around. He's 0 for 1 with a fly out to center. pitch by Shin. Bounces in. Nice stop by Semperi. And the count 1-0 to Schultz. Gavin Schultz out of Tulane, a sophomore from New Orleans, Louisiana. In the batter's box here for Bellingham. The 1-0 pitch is low and inside for ball 2. 2-0 the count. Gianluca Shin from Menlo Park, California. In his one inning, had a couple of walks. And he's got, well, the fielder's choice to his credit so far in this one. Pitch on the way to the plate is swung on and missed, and the count goes to 2-1 to Schultz. Two teams meet again tomorrow here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium at 6:35 tomorrow night. And then again Sunday they'll wrap up the 6 games in 6 days between these two teams. Sunday afternoon at 1:05. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. It's bouncing in again. Nice stop by Semperi, but this is going to allow the runner to go down to second base. A wild pitch is charged to Shin, and the count runs to 3-1 to Schultz. We will forego a post-game show. We are quickly, in fact, we should be in the news hour. So just a heads up to Tucker Wagner back in the studio to be on the lookout for ad insertion module if we get too late here. The 3-1 pitch is swung on and fouled off the catchers, so the count now runs full to Schultz at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Suddenly the PA system got deafeningly loud here at the ballpark. I think everybody's fingers are frozen. 3-2 the count to Schultz. Shin ready with a runner at second. And the pitch by the left-hander on the way to the plate is a little inside for ball 4. So that'll put runners at first and second base. And let's see if Daniel Gernon will be the hitter or if they decide to do something else. Let's see. Gernon is scheduled to bat. And it is Daniel Gernon. So, one-run ball game. Maybe a little tomfoolery coming up here. Adam Gieselin, the head coach for Bellingham, has a word with Gernon. Runners from first and second will hold. The pitch to the plate is low for a ball. 1-0 the count. Gernon in the ball game is 0 for 3 tonight. Ground outs. He got aboard on an error. He flew out and he walked in his last plate appearance in the 8th. This pitch is in for a strike, and the count evens to Gernon at 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, we'll forego a post-game show here on the NCWLIFE Channel because we're running awfully late here tonight as this game is now approaching 3.5 hours long. The 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on and missed, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. So Shin is that close to keeping it a 1-run ball game, or a 2-run ball game, I should say. And that close to giving the AppleSox a chance in the bottom of the 9th inning. 1-2 the count to Gernon. Runners at first and second, 1 run in on a home run by Cole Haig, his 2nd of the night. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way to the plate. It's bouncing in for a ball, and the count even now to Gernon at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gernon back in there. Sheehan is ready. And the 2-2 pitch is high, goes all the way to the backstop, and that will keep the runners where they are because it caromed off the backstop and came right back to Semperi. Count runs full now to Gernon at 3-2. Gianluca Shin trying to figure out a way to throw a strike here. And the pitch to the plate is swung on and missed, and boy, that was in the dirt. He swung at ball 4. It will work in the AppleSox favor, but 1 run is in. They leave a couple aboard. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Some work to do. Bellingham 6, Wenatchee 4. You're watching AppleSox baseball on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Come on, I'm a certified technician. I was trained to take good care of you.
9. I've only been to the dealer.
I've been coming here for years. These guys are great.
Look around. The BMW, the Jag, the Volvo, they're all waiting for regular service. Well, the BMW has a little computer issue, but that's nothing we can't handle. Come on in.
From regular maintenance to computer troubleshooting, trust the Global Car Care technicians with your import, diesel-powered, or domestic vehicle. Global Car Care. They speak your car's language.
Dankeschön.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Yes, it's me. It's my husband. I think there's something the matter with him.
It was a feeling that I'll never forget, like being able to meet them and know that he survived.
Okay, tell me what's happening. Is he conscious?
No, he's not. He's not.
Okay, take a deep breath for me. I'm getting you help.
Rivercom means to me that I still have my husband here with me. They're the ones that guided me through saving his life.
Well, Nate Mendoza is on the mound for Bellingham here as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Enzo Apodaca, Matthew Hallback, and Michael Davini due up here for the AppleSox. And they're part of the 9th, and some work to do as they trail it 6-4 here against Bellingham. Again, the Bells had a run in the first on a couple of hits. Run in the third on 2 hits. Home run in the 5th to make it 3-0 at that point. Wenatchee came back in the bottom of the 6th to score 2, but then Bellingham got 2 back in the 7th to make it 4-2. Sox scored 2 in the 7th. And another home run for Bellingham in the 9th. So it's a 6-4 ball game as we get into the bottom of the 9th inning. Enzo Apodaca, who is 2 for 3, scored a couple of runs, leads it off, and the first pitch to him is taken for a strike, and the count 0-1 here to Enzo Apodaca. Again, Nate Mendoza is on the mound, right-hander here for Bellingham. Mendoza is a junior out of Cal State San Bernardino. This pitch misses for a ball, 1-1 the count. Well, you heard it from Quincy Vassar here earlier tonight when he joined us on the broadcast that a win tonight would do so much as a shot in the arm for the AppleSox. This pitch taken for a strike, curveball in there, 1-2 the counts. Vinny Mariana, our home plate umpire, saying, yep, that's a strike, all right. So the count runs to 1-2 on Apodaca. Pitch on the way, swung on and hit the opposite way for a base hit. Sox get the tying run to the plate here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Third hit of the night for Enzo, and welcome back to the AppleSox here this summer to Enzo Apodaca. Matthew Hallbeck, who's had a great night as well in his debut for the AppleSox, steps up. He is 3 for 4 on the night with 2 singles, a double, an RBI, and a run scored. Hallback up and ready, and Mendoza with the pitch to the plate, swung on and missed, and the count 0-1 on Hallback. Wind still whistling out to right field here at the ballpark. Chilly nights here in Wenatchee. Pitch to the plate is swung on and fouled back, and barely missing that one was Hallback, and the count 0-2 on the Sox left fielder. Michael Davini, who is still trying to get his first hit of the night, waiting on deck for Wenatchee, trying to extend his hit streak to 13 West Coast League games in a row. The 0-2 pitch to Hallback is on the way, and it's swung on and missed, a high cheese, and he couldn't lay off of that one, so 1 down here in the 9th for the Sox, and that'll bring up Michael Davini. Davini grounded into a 6-3 putout in the 7th. That scored a run for Wenatchee. The second of 2 runs in the 7th. That brought it to a 1-run game at that point, 5-4, but then Bellingham with a home run in the top of the 9th to make it 6-4, and that's where we are right now with 1 down and 1 on. Toss to the bag at first to get Apodaca to stay close. Davini in the right-handed batter's box facing Nate Mendoza. The first pitch misses high for a ball, 1-0 the count. Wenatchee trying to will themselves into maybe a walk-off win here or extend the game. The 1-0 pitch on the way to the plate is a curveball, and that's in there for a strike, and the count even to Davini at 1 ball and 1 strike. 6 foot, 200-pound sophomore from Coastal Carolina. Came into the game tonight batting .400, second on the team in batting. Trying to get his first base hit of the night. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way to the plate. Swung on a miss, and boy, that's a hefty fastball, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Right-hander Nate Mendoza trying to shut the door right here. This pitch swung on and barely getting a piece of that and fouling it off on the first base side is Davini. Mendoza gets the sign from Cresswell. And the right-handers 1-2 pitch on the way is a curveball. Strike 3 cold. Gone looking is Davini. He has a couple of words with a home plate umpire, Vinny Mariana. 2 down in the inning here for the AppleSox. And down to it. Mendoza, by the way, making his 3rd appearance. He has 7 strikeouts coming into tonight. Add 2 more here in the 9th inning. Trying to close the door for the Bells. Cole Miller at the plate. And the first pitch to him is a strike called. 0-1 the count to Cole. Miller with an RBI double 3 innings ago in the 6th. He's 1 for 3 on the night. Can he find some 2-out magic here? Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's swung on and fouled away on a hefty fastball, and now the Sox are down to their final strike. Cole Miller trying to keep a heartbeat alive here for Wenatchee. Again at first base, Enzo Apodaca, who started the inning off with a base hit. He's still over there at first. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way to the plate, high, and he stays off of that one as he twists away from it. The count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Daniel Kuntz joins us back on the broadcast here.
Just want to remind everybody to stay close for a special 2-hour post-game show here from Paul Thomas Senior Field.
You just caused our camera people to just absolutely hate you right now. The pitch on the way, swung on, and fouling it back is Cole Miller. We should say stand by for local news here coming up.
Yeah, we're kind of stepping on our news a little bit.
Yeah, we are.
Allie was just telling me, the general manager here, they did a game in Walla Walla last year or 2 years ago that went 20-some-odd innings, finished at 3 in the morning.
Oh, goodness. No curfew at Burlesque?
Not that I know of.
Oh, man. 1-2 the count here. Pitch on the way to the plate is a curveball, missing low, just barely. Evens the count to Miller at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I know. How is Matthew Ortiz?
He's hanging in.
Lasting right now.
He's wearing a
He's in
t-shirt.
shirt sleeves, folks.
Well, our friend out in center field camera is wearing shorts.
Oh, goodness. 2-2 count to Cole Miller. Mendoza with the pitch, swung on and lifted in the air to shallow right field. Coming in, the right fielder is going to catch it. I think the wind kind of held that one up. And that'll do it here for the AppleSox as they fall to the Bellingham Bells by a final of 6-4. That's going to wrap up our broadcast as well. Thanks to everybody involved with it here tonight, to Caleb Plank, to Matthew Ortiz, to Malcolm Whitehall, to Tucker Wagner, and to Dan Kuntz, and to Rachel Mandelas. We can't forget the Magic Rachel there behind home plate. I'm Eric Granstrom. Again, our final here tonight is the Bellingham Bells over Wenatchee 6-4. Don't forget, more baseball coming up tomorrow at 6:35 and then Sunday at 1:05 here at the ballpark. Thanks for watching and have a great night, everybody. Thanks for joining us for exclusive coverage of the Wenatchee AppleSox on the NCWLIFE Channel, your local TV station. Today's game has been brought to you by AmeriCorps, Chelan Douglas Community Action Council, Apple Valley Honda, Bob's Burgers and Brew, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, JDSA Law, Mini Blinds and more. Together for You, That Pizza Place in Cashbury, Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center, and Walkabout Grill. This has been a special presentation of NCWLIFE Channel Sports. We now return you to normal programming already in progress.